On day 1, I spawned into a small village next to the bayou as myself. I'm just a little baby Zozo. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Something has got to be going on here. I turned and looked at the village around me, trying to spot if anything was out of the ordinary. Nope, there was just a handful of villagers walking around, minding their own business. It's quiet. Too quiet. I don't trust this one bit. And my suspicions were confirmed when I saw a strange shape wandering into the village. It was a Warden Enderman. I'd never seen one before, so I decided to go and talk to him. Hey, Mr. Warden Enderman, I'm Zozo. Are you okay? You're not looking too good.
Sick. I feel sick. Help me.
I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. Maybe you should see a doctor or something?
Help me.
The Warden Enderman stepped forward and touched one of the villagers. Poof! He was immediately transformed into a vicious warden! What? How is that even possible? Suddenly, all of the villagers in the small village started transforming into wardens. It was like there was some kind of warden virus spreading. I need to get out of here. I ran out of the village as fast as I could before any of the wardens had a chance to sonic boom me. Whatever was going on, I needed to stop it, quickly. On day 2, I carried on running out of the village until I was deep in the bayou. It's like I'm trapped in some kind of horror movie. And with only 5 hearts, too. At least I'm safe out here. I can't see any wardens anywhere. But I spoke too soon. It seemed that as soon as I said something out loud, wardens started to surround me. Oh no, it looks like every mob is a warden here. With 5 hearts and no weapons, I knew that I didn't stand a chance against these monsters. I needed to get out of there, so I ran further into the bayou as fast as I could until I couldn't see the wardens behind me. Oh gosh, they could be anywhere. This is so spooky. Another figure came towards me out of the dark. For a second, I panicked until I saw with relief that it was a crimson wizard, not a warden.
Are you infected?
What?
We haven't much time. Did Patient Zero touch you? Are you infected, boy?
Patient Zero? Is that the long, lanky guy who can turn people into wardens by touching them?
Yes, that's him. Good. You're not infected then, but you won't be safe here for long. Follow me if you want to stay human.
That was an offer I couldn't turn down. I followed the Crimson Wizard deeper into the bayou, hopefully away from all the wardens chasing us. On day 3, the Crimson Wizard led me to a hideout in the bayou where he said a friend of his was living.
This is the Wood Villager's domain. He's a good man and a valuable ally in these times, but he's not very trusting.
When we arrived, we stopped outside the hideout and the Wood Villager came out to meet us.
Crimson, this new guy, is he infected? Because if he's infected, I don't want him or you anywhere near this place.
Don't worry, Wood. He's clean. If he'd had any contact with Patient Zero, he would have been turned already.
Good. All healthy. Let's keep it that way. What's your name, kid?
I'm Zozo. Could you please explain to me what's going on here?
Simple. The event I've been predicting for years. The Warden Apocalypse. If we don't stay safe, everyone in the world could be turned into wardens, and those left will be destroyed by them.
But why? What's causing this?
We're not quite sure. We know it's infectious, and we know the Warden Enderman we call Patient Zero is part of it, but otherwise, we haven't a clue. But if we could find out what's causing the Warden Apocalypse, we might be able to stop it.
Then I guess that's exactly what we've got to do. Come with me, Crimson Wizard. Together, we're gonna figure out the secrets of the Warden Apocalypse and stop it all together. But first, let's get out of this bayou. It's giving me the creeps. We had our mission. The Crimson Wizard followed me out of the bayou. Together, we needed to solve the mystery and save the world. From day 4 to day 5, the Crimson Wizard and I headed out to the Borealis Grove, which seemed like a nicer place with fewer wardens, where we could build a really cool base. But before we can build an awesome warden defense base, we need some tools. I punched down some trees and turned the wood blocks into wood planks so I could make a crafting table. I then used my crafting table and my spare wood to build my first wooden pickaxe. And we all know there's only one thing that a wooden pickaxe is good for: building a stone pickaxe. I mined some stone and crafted a full set of stone tools and even a stone sword. That's when the Crimson Wizard approached me.
Here, Zozo, take some of these strings. You should really use these and some sticks to build a bow. You don't know how infectious the Warden virus is, so you should only take wardens on at long range.
Great advice, Crimson Wizard. Thank you. I crafted myself a handy bow and then started to work on my base. It was basic at first, just a room for me and a room for the Crimson Wizard. But I also decided to build a furnace next to the base to make some smelting easier later. Once it was done, me and the Crimson Wizard admired all my hard work.
It's a good start, Zozo. We just need to keep developing it from here.
But the day wasn't all building and fun. Before the sun went down, a couple of Wardens came towards the base out of the nearby trees. Lucky I've got my trusty bow. Take that! I used my bow to take out the 2 Wardens without the risk of infection. What a relief! And defeating them gave me the XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, and now having 10 hearts. My chances of survival just went up. From day 6 to day 8, with a basic base built and a basic set of weapons and tools crafted, I decided to venture out into another biome, the Black Forest, to look for clues behind what was causing the Warden apocalypse. Jeez, this forest is creepy enough without having to worry about the Warden virus. That's when I saw a forest guardian being hassled by a pair of Wardens. They looked like they might be about to hit him with their sonic boom power, and I definitely couldn't let that happen. Get away from him, Wardens! I pulled out my bow and shot at the Wardens until they were defeated. Then I went in to check if the Forest Guardian was okay. Are you okay, Forest Guardian?
Yes, I am, thanks to you. It was horrible. Those creatures were my friends once, before they turned into Wardens. Something nightmarish is happening in the overworld.
The Warden apocalypse! I'm trying to stop it. Is there anything you could tell me that might help me get to the bottom of this?
Yes, perhaps, but there's an even worse infection further into my beloved forest. Come help me with that, then I'll tell you everything I know.
From day 9 to day 10, the Forest Guardian and I went deeper into the Black Forest until we found a grove positively full of deadly Wardens. Wow, this is a real infestation. I better take them out quick before it gets even worse. But of course, taking out the Wardens was a lot easier said than done, especially because there were just so many of them. The second I fired an arrow at one of them, all the others were immediately alerted. They turned and started coming towards me. One of them even fired a sonic boom, staggering me and knocking off a few of my hearts. It was clear I wasn't strong or skilled enough to fight them yet, and I definitely didn't want them to touch me, so I really needed to get out of there. I ran off, leaving the Wardens behind. Once they'd finally stopped chasing me, I ran into the Forest Guardian again. I'm so sorry, Forest Guardian. There were just too many of them. I couldn't do it.
It's okay, Zozo. You tried your best. I'm just glad you weren't infected.
I promise, we'll come back and solve this. We'll solve everything. Want to come back with me to my base in the meantime? There's safety in numbers.
Good idea, Zozo. Lead the way.
From day 11 to day 12, I brought the Forest Guardian back to my base and built a new room for him. I filled it with plenty of plants just to make sure he wasn't homesick.
Thank you, Zozo. This is an excellent room, and including the plants was very thoughtful.
No problem, Forest Guardian. Now, could you tell me everything you know about the Warden apocalypse? It might hold the key to stopping this whole thing.
Well, I don't know much, but one day this strange, tall creature came wandering through the forest in the middle of the night. I'd never seen anything like it. But I know the day after it happened, that's when so many of the forest dwellers started turning into Wardens.
This sounds just like Patient Zero, so he really is behind all of this. Knowing what I did now, I continued working to improve my base and my tools. I mined in the Borealis Grove until I found a vein of iron ore. I took it back to my base and used my furnace and crafting table to smelt and craft it into a full set of iron tools. Now I need to make sure my other supplies are sustainable. I created a paddock on the grounds of my base and herded some sheep into it. After all, you can never be too careful during the Warden apocalypse. From day 13 to day 15, I approached the Crimson Wizard, who seemed to be the overworld's biggest expert on the Warden apocalypse. Crimson, I need your advice. I want to gather more information on the Warden apocalypse, but I don't know where to start.
Perhaps go to the lush red desert. There, we can see how these infected Wardens react to different environments. If we're lucky, we might be able to find some kind of weakness we can use.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way to the lush red desert to find out more. And both luckily and unluckily for me, it looked like it was crawling with Wardens. Guess I at least won't be hurting for research subjects. But what I discovered through my research didn't make me feel any better. The infected Wardens seemed just as powerful and dangerous in the desert as they did in the bayou or the forest. Stopping the Warden apocalypse is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. When a few of them attacked me, I was at least able to take them out with my bow, and they dropped a few useful items, some shark tooth arrows for my bow, and a health potion. You can never have enough health. Bottoms up! The potion was a huge help. I went from 10 to 30 hearts immediately. Finally, some good news today. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my search for some useful items or information. That's what led me down into a dark, spooky underground cave. Thankfully, back at my base, I'd made plenty of torches to place along the walls and mark my way. This should shed some light on the situation. I'm glad nobody was down here to hear that. I didn't find any useful crafting items down there, but I did find something strange and interesting all the same. An old book marked Warden Laboratory Research Notes. Most of the pages had been ruined, but one of the ones that hadn't been read. The virus is progressing even faster than we'd initially imagined. Perhaps too fast. I thought it might be the perfect weapon, but it infects and transforms its victims so quickly. It might be too difficult to control. Are we unlocking something truly terrible here? Wait, so people might have actually made the Warden virus? My reading time was interrupted by another Warden wandering into the cave. He tried to blast me with his sonic boom, but this time I was able to dodge and fire back with my bow. He went down in one shot, and I was safe once more. I'm becoming quite the Warden Slayer. From day 20 to day 22, I wanted to test out the strength of my new Warden slaying skills some more. I'd noticed that the Wardens liked waiting in old or abandoned places, so I found my way to an old abandoned house and searched inside. Sure enough, some Wardens were waiting for me, and I easily defeated them with my bow. There may be some hope of stopping the Warden apocalypse after all. I also found some iron ingots in a chest inside the abandoned house and decided I'd make use of them. I went back to my base and used my crafting table to create a set of iron armor. That should hopefully have made the Warden's sonic booms pack less of a deadly punch. What's a good offense without some good defense after all? The Forest Guardian came out of the house and gave me a few apples he gathered while I was away. He thought I would be starving after my long journey in the desert. Feeling so much stronger and more confident than before, I journeyed deep into the Black Forest once again until I found the area infested by all those Wardens. This time, I'm not running away. Using my superb bow skills, I took out every single one of the Wardens and cleared the forest. The Forest Guardian is gonna be so happy when I tell him. I was journeying back to my base through the Borealis Grove when I heard a familiar, creepy voice and saw a familiar, tall, dark shape. It was Patient Zero!
Please, help me. The experiments, my creation.
I was curious about what he said about the so-called experiments, but I was also scared out of my mind. I ran away as fast as I could, and I just hoped Patient Zero wouldn't be following me. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base, still feeling a little worried that Patient Zero might be on my tail. I waited outside the base for a few hours with my bow at the ready. I was just lucky that he never showed up. That's one problem I wouldn't have to deal with until later. But I still had some good news to give. I ran over to the Forest Guardian, who was sitting outside and enjoying nature. Forest Guardian, I have great news! I went back to the Black Forest and drove out the Warden infestation. It should be safe for you to return now.
That is great news, Zozo. Thank you for all that you've done. I shall return to the forest now. I wish you luck in bringing the Warden apocalypse to an end. Here is a reward for your help.
He threw me an anvil and a Flame 1 enchantment, and with that, the Forest Guardian left. Already, something else was on my mind. I got lucky that Patient Zero didn't follow me back this time. What if next time I wasn't so lucky? I really need to build some new base defenses and equipment upgrades. First, I upgraded my bow. I placed the anvil at my base, and with the help of the enchanted book Flame 1, I was able to enchant my bow to fire flaming arrows. This will really make it pack a punch. Then, I built a strong defensive wall around my base. You can't have a Warden-slaying fortress if Wardens can just waltz right in at any time they like. After the wall was done, I stood back and took in how far my base had come. I might just be able to save the world! From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was time to have a change of scenery and explore further for more clues about the origin of the Warden virus. That's why I went to the White Beach. I think I'm onto something, and all this talk of secret labs and experiments, but I'm still missing important information. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into a small gang of villagers on the run through the beach. They looked worried and frightened. Hey, are you guys okay?
Far from it. An army of wardens attacked our village. Almost everyone was wiped out or changed. And now we have nowhere to live.
You're in luck. Well, aside from the whole village destruction thing, of course. You can head back to my base in the Borealis Grove. I'll keep you safe there while I figure out how to stop the Warden apocalypse. While the villagers headed back to my base, I decided I'd collect a few blocks of sand for a construction project I was working on. When I returned to my base, I added more rooms for the villagers to sleep in. I also used my furnace to turn the sand into glass so I could give my base some windows. Perfect for keeping an eye out for the Warden hordes out there. Just as I was standing back and appreciating my hard work, the Crimson Wizard ran towards me in a panic.
Zozo, there's trouble going down in the bayou. Big trouble. I need your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the Crimson Wizard and I ran back to the Wood Villagers' hideout in the bayou. Crimson was right about him being in trouble, because by the time we had made it to the hideout, it was already overrun with Wardens. We'll come save you, Woody!
No, don't be reckless. It's already too late for me. Get out of here and save yourselves.
I didn't want to believe it was true. I pulled out my new fire-enchanted bow and shot flaming arrow after flaming arrow into the Wardens until none were left standing. Then I ran in to see how the Wood Villager was doing.
Stop right there.
But why? I saved you.
No, you don't understand. I'm infected, Zozo. I'm sorry, but like I told you, it's already too late for me.
Poof! The Wood Villager turned into a Warden and fired a sonic boom at me. It was hard, but I had no choice. I fired a flaming arrow at the Warden that had once been the Wood Villager, and he was no more. From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get away from the bayou and from the Borealis Grove. I was still so shaken up after what happened to the Wood Villager. I just couldn't stand it. That's why I went to the tropical rainforest, wandering around and feeling the sunshine and thick tropical air washing all my troubles away. That's when I ran into the illager from the faraway lands, a mysterious stranger walking through the rainforest. Hey, Mr. Illager! I was taking kind of a vacation day out here, but since you're around, would you happen to know anything about the Warden apocalypse?
Oh, I know a lot about the Warden apocalypse. A lot. But I won't give you that information for free. It comes at a price.
Name it.
There are some more of those blasted Wardens near here. They chased me out of my favorite part of the rainforest. Go destroy them, and we'll talk.
Deal! Following the illager's instructions, I searched around the nearby forest until I happened upon a group of Wardens wandering around, searching for fresh victims. It didn't take long for me to take them all out with my bow and flaming arrows. Then I made my way back to the illager, eager to find out more about what I was really facing out here. Tell me everything you know about the one they call Patient Zero, the Warden Endermen. He's the one who caused all this. I need to understand him.
He wasn't always a monster. Well, not in the literal sense anyway. He was a scientist once, and quite a brilliant one at that. But as time went on, his experiments got stranger and stranger. And then, when people started refusing to work with him, he started doing experiments on himself. I imagine one day he went too far and became the Patient Zero you know today.
So, he was normal once. Interesting. Maybe, deep down, there's something in there I can still reason with. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base, turning over all the new information I'd learned in my mind. I also missed having the Forest Guardian around, so I decided, as a tribute to him, to add a bunch more plants and flowers to my base. It really brightened the place up and helped to remind me about what I was fighting for. After I'd put in all these new beautiful natural decorations, I was approached by some of the villagers I'd sent back to my base earlier. They needed another favor.
Zozo, we've heard from some friends and family members from other villages who have been chased out by the Wardens too. They need a place to stay. Can they come join us here?
Of course! Tell them to come over. I'll make room for them all. As the new villagers flooded in, I built barracks with bunk beds to hold them all. It made me feel safe to know how many people would be here at the base with us, and the villagers seemed happy with the new arrangement too.
We couldn't be more grateful, Zozo. You're genuinely saving lives here.
Please, all in a day's work.
Though we were wondering if we could ask you for one more favor. We're a little worried about what happened to a village a ways north of here. We have family and friends there. Would you be able to go and check it out?
Of course, if it puts your minds at ease and potentially lets me help more people, it's more than worth the trip. But when I made that agreement, I had no idea just how bad things would get. From day 44 to day 49, I followed the instructions given to me by the villagers at my base and traveled all the way to a village on the other side of the Borealis Grove. Hello? Anyone there? Gosh, this place is giving me the creeps! I walked through the village and found that nobody seemed to be there. There were a few little abandoned houses and one bigger house that I assume maybe belonged to the village mayor. But now, there was nobody here. Well, almost nobody. Suddenly, the last person I wanted to see, Patient Zero, came wandering out from between the houses.
Must keep going. Have to keep spreading it. The beautiful sickness.
Wait, I know who you really are. Kinda. I know you used to be a scientist. Can't we just be reasonable and talk all this out? There's got to be some of you still in there.
Maybe once, but not now. Sorry, can't control myself anymore. My creation has the will. The Warden Apocalypse cannot be stopped.
And with that, Patient Zero wandered off. But as soon as he was gone, a gang of wardens that must have once been the villagers, started surrounding me. Too many for me to just stand and shoot. I need to get out of here before I get infected. From day 50 to day 53, I ran to the only place I could to buy me some time from the advancing army of wardens, into the large house. I ran in and closed the door behind me, quickly running up to the top floor. I knew I couldn't escape them from there, but at least it would give me some time to plan. I hid inside what must have been the house's master bedroom, but while I was there, I couldn't help but notice that there was a bookmarked diary. Normally, it's extremely rude to read someone's diary, but since this person was probably transformed into a warden, I figured it was okay. And I'm glad I did, because it read, "Curses! I should have never agreed to work with that awful scientist. All the men I lost to getting him those skulk shriekers from the deep dark for his experiments. I betrayed my people for nothing." But I couldn't read for long. Suddenly, the wardens burst in, and I pulled out my bow. Firing as quickly as I could, I managed to defeat them all. Now it was time to get out of the village before any more could show up. From day 54 to day 57, I left the abandoned house and found that the ship had already sailed on stopping more from showing up. There were a whole bunch of wardens outside, waiting for me, ready to attack. I was just very lucky that I still had plenty of arrows, or my goose would have been cooked. Time to send these wardens back to the deep dark. I fired and fired until there were no wardens left. One of them even dropped something, a dagger. Maybe he was trying to use it to defeat Patient Zero, but he got infected in the process. I won't make that same mistake. I grabbed the dagger and ran back to my base as fast as I could. The Crimson Wizard was waiting for me. Crimson, I think I have some valuable information. Patient Zero used to be a scientist, and I found out from an old diary that his Warden virus experiments involved using skulk shriekers.
Skulk Shriekers, of course! Zozo, this is a game changer. If you can get me some Skulk Shriekers from the deep dark, I might be able to manufacture a vaccine.
Vaccine? What's that?
It's a special chemical compound made from a weak or dead version of the virus, which allows the body's immune system, that's the part of your body that fights off diseases, to recognize and better fight it off. If we can create a proper vaccine for the Warden virus using the Skulk Shriekers, we can make everyone immune.
That sounds like an amazing idea, Crimson. We might finally turn the Warden Apocalypse around. From day 58 to day 62, I prepared to undertake this new part of the mission, obtaining the Skulk Shriekers to make the Warden virus vaccine. But first, I needed to upgrade my gear in my base in case of a potential counterattack. First, I expanded my paddock and included even more sheep, just to make sure we had spares if the Warden virus somehow started spreading among sheep too. And if I have trouble getting to sleep at night, I can always come out here and count them. Then, I traveled to a nearby diamond mine that one of the villagers told me about and started mining precious diamonds. Diamonds are a Warden Slayer's best friend. Once I'd obtained them, I returned to my base and forged a full set of diamond armor, along with some cool diamond tools and weapons. I was better defended than ever before. Time to find some Skulk Shriekers! From day 63 to day 66, I went to the Crimson Wizard in my full diamond armor and asked for some instructions.
I recommend you head to the Shattered Glacier, Zozo. It's one of the few places I know of in the overworld that has a safe tunnel leading to the deep dark. That's your best bet at finding Skulk Shriekers.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way over to the Shattered Glacier. Lucky for me, there didn't seem to be many wardens around, just lots and lots of ice. Yeesh, I should have brought a warmer jacket. It's totally freezing out here. Soon enough, I came upon a fortress guarded by a huge ice vile ogre. He looked tough and dangerous, so I immediately started worrying that he'd want to fight.
Who goes there? I'm the guardian of this place.
And what exactly is this place?
The tunnel to the deep dark. But I'm not letting anyone in. There's been a dangerous warden infestation in there, and I can't let civilians wander in willy-nilly.
But I'm not just any civilian. I'm a professional warden slayer, and I'm searching for the Skulk Shriekers that'll help my friend, the Crimson Wizard, create a vaccine for the warden virus.
You're a warden slayer, huh? Prove it. There are some wardens just west of here. Take care of them, and I'll let you into the deep dark.
Deal. From day 67 to day 70, I did what the Ice Vile Ogre Guardian told me to do, and went off in search of the local warden infestation. These creatures are so hardy, they can seemingly survive in any biome. This is why I really need those Skulk Shriekers. Eventually, I found a small swarm of wardens. Lucky for me, I was able to get the element of surprise on them. I pulled out my enchanted bow and took them all out, one by one. But with all my confidence, I didn't expect one of them to have snuck up on me from behind. It hit me with a sonic boom, stunning me and then starting to get closer. If it touched me, I might have gotten infected. So I picked myself back up and ran away as fast as I could. When I'd made some decent distance, I turned around and shot it with my bow, finally finishing off this warden infestation. With that taken care of, I returned to the Ice Vile Ogre at the compound.
You have proven yourself. I'll let you go down to the deep dark. Just be careful down there. Your luck can change in an instant.
He stepped aside, revealing a dark, deep hole into the ground with a ladder. From day 71 to day 74, I climbed down into the deep dark. Just like the name said, it was really deep and really dark, and it took me forever to climb down there. When I reached the bottom, I realized that the Ice Vile Ogre's warning was completely true. There were several wardens at the bottom, waiting for me. I needed to pull out my enchanted bow and shoot at them to scare them away. Maybe the Crimson Wizard should have sent somebody else to do this. After I'd defeated and scared off some of the wardens, I searched deeper into the deep dark. It was certainly spooky down there. Luckily, I eventually found some Skulk Shriekers and used my diamond pickaxe to harvest them. Hopefully this will be enough for the Crimson Wizard to start producing the vaccine. I was heading back to the ladder when suddenly a familiar figure wandered out of the darkness towards me. It was him, Patient Zero!
What are you doing here? I'm trying to collect more samples for my research. Are you a thief, little one?
In a panic, I pulled out my bow and tried shooting him, but it didn't have any effect. And I didn't want to get any closer in case I got infected. I ran around him as fast as I could and started climbing the ladder back up to the surface. I still wasn't ready to face him just yet. From day 75 to day 78, I returned back to my base, shaken by my encounter with Patient Zero, but still feeling proud of myself for getting the Skulk Shriekers. Of course, I immediately gave them over to the Crimson Wizard.
This is amazing, Zozo. Give me a day or so and I'll see what I can whip up.
While the Crimson Wizard was working away on the vaccine for the Warden virus, I decided to make some base improvements, like making the wall taller so I could have better defenses against Warden attacks. By the time all my construction projects were done, the Crimson Wizard had something for me.
I think I've done it, Zozo. I think I've created a Warden virus vaccine potion. But I need to be able to test it before we give it to people.
It's okay, Crimson. You can test it on me.
Are you sure, Zozo? It's still experimental.
If it helps save the world, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I drank the Warden virus vaccine, and the change was immediate. Not only was I now immune to the virus, I was bigger, stronger, and had 60 hearts.
These results are incredible, Zozo. We must share it with the world. Here, take as many Warden virus vaccines as you can carry. Give them to as many friendly people as you can. Together, we'll stop the Warden apocalypse once and for all.
From day 79 to day 84, I decided I'd take advantage of my new immunity and roam the Badlands, taking on any warden that I saw. It felt great to finally be on top of things and know that the end of the Warden apocalypse may finally be in sight. During my exciting warden slaying adventures, I came across an old hunter also wandering the Badlands. Mr. Hunter, my friend created a warden virus vaccine. If you and everyone you know takes these, you can avoid getting infected. Please, take a bunch.
This is incredible! What do you want in return, kind sir?
Nothing. The more people have these, the safer we're all going to be.
Then please, as a token of my gratitude, at least take this crossbow. I've used it on many a warden myself. Believe me, it packs a mean punch.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I'll use it well. From day 85 to day 89, after giving warden virus vaccine potions to as many people as I could, I came back to my base to stock up again, only to find that it was being attacked by another gang of infected wardens. This wasn't supposed to happen. Using my new crossbow, I started shooting at the wardens, taking out a few of them and scaring the rest away. But I couldn't just let them escape. If they did, they might infect more people. I immediately turned and started running after them as fast as I could. But on the way through the Borealis Grove, I saw an innocent Vile Ogre being surrounded by another group of wardens. I wasn't about to let him get infected too, so I ran in, crossbow blazing. Thankfully, I was able to take out all those wardens before they could infect the Vile Ogre with the warden virus. I gave him one of the vaccine potions too, just to be safe. You won't regret this, Zozo. Someday, I will repay this kindness. You have my word. From day 90 to day 94, I continued my chase after the wardens deep into the Borealis forest. Little did I know, these infected wardens had set up a trap for me. I reached a clearing and used my crossbow to take out a few of the wardens, only to find that there were way more waiting for me, coming at me from every angle. For a second, I thought I was doomed. Then I remembered the most important thing. I'd taken the vaccine. I was immune. Remembering this, I pulled out my diamond sword and decided to take on the wardens directly. Let's do this. I'm canceling the warden apocalypse. From day 95 to day 97, I kept fighting, using my diamond sword to mow through the warden army like a dad's lawnmower through grass. Soon enough, I defeated every single one of them, and all that was left on the floor was a single book. I picked it up, and just like the damaged book I'd found so long ago, it was titled Warden Laboratory Research Notes. One of these wardens must have been another scientist at the lab. I leafed through the pages. One part read, "Things are getting out of hand. There have been way too many incidents lately. The lead researcher is getting reckless as his obsession with the warden virus grows. I fear that if we don't get control of this soon, the warden virus might leak out into the Zelkova forest and maybe even beyond." The Zelkova forest! That must be where the lab is! I can go down there and finish all of this once and for all! On day 98, I returned to my base to tell the Crimson Wizard and the leader of the villagers the good news. I gathered them together to share. Guys, I think I finally have what it takes to finish the Warden apocalypse and save the world. I found out that the lab where the Warden virus started is in the Zelkova forest. I'm gonna defeat Patient Zero and destroy the entire lab, so this never happens again.
I wish you luck, Zozo, but I don't think you'll need it. You've become the greatest Warden Slayer the world has ever known. I'll continue sharing the Warden virus vaccine while you're gone to help the world become immune.
Thank you, Crimson Wizard. I never could have done any of this without you. Then the leader of the villagers gave me a gift. If you can call 64 blocks of TNT a gift.
Hey, if you want to destroy the whole lab, you're gonna need some serious explosive power.
Thanks, villager. Just, why do you have this?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to, kid.
And with that, I was ready to go and save the world from the Warden virus. On day 99, I traveled all the way to the Zelkova forest, hoping to find the lab and destroy the evil of the Warden virus. On the way there, I ran into the King Pig and decided to give him some of the Warden virus vaccines for his pig kingdom.
Thank you, Zozo. You can do this. I believe in you.
After searching a little longer, I found the lab. It was abandoned and crawling with wardens around the outside. Even if they couldn't infect me, there was no way I could take them all out and still defeat Patient Zero afterwards. But then, just as I needed him most, the Vile Ogre I saved earlier ran in, ready to fight. I told you I'd repay your kindness someday, Zozo, and that day is today. You go in there and take down the big boss. I'll take care of these warning creeps for you. On day 100, I entered the abandoned laboratory, which was somehow even creepier than the deep dark. I wandered through the halls, encountering warden after warden and taking them down with my crossbow. It was why the only way to end this was to defeat Patient Zero and destroy the lab altogether. Eventually, in the largest room of the lab, I found him waiting for me. It's time for this to end, Patient Zero. The Warden apocalypse is over.
Fool! You have no idea what you're dealing with. The Warden apocalypse is just beginning. On a long enough timeline, the virus will mutate, becoming bigger and stronger until nobody can stop it.
That's why I need to stop you right now. He hit me and was astonished to see that I didn't transform into a warden.
No, this is impossible. How could you be immune to my beautiful virus?
We took the vaccine. It's over, Patient Zero. There's only one cure for you. I pulled out my dagger and destroyed Patient Zero in one shot. All that was left to do was destroy the lab itself, so nobody could ever find his work. I went back outside and put TNT all around the lab, completely surrounding it with the explosive blocks. Afterwards, I stood back and fired a single flaming arrow. Boom! The lab was completely destroyed, and the Warden apocalypse was truly over. On day 1, I spawned in as an awesome Warden Ninja, right in the middle of my Warden Ninja hideout. But there were no other Warden Ninjas around. In fact, the whole place was full of dread ghouls. While several of them were standing at attention, one of them was standing back and giving orders.
Destroy everything, my dark warriors. We are under orders to eliminate every last Warden Ninja we can find.
I didn't understand why this was happening, but I wasn't going to take it lying down. Who's giving you these orders, you cowardly dread ghoul? That's when I heard booming footsteps behind me. I turned and saw a huge dark figure approaching me. I was only a tiny Warden Ninja, and I didn't have any weapons yet, so he terrified me.
I gave the orders. I am Shogun Skull, the ruler of this land. And all who defy me will be destroyed, including you.
Shogun Skull pulled out a huge katana. He looked like he meant business. I needed to activate my special power, Ultimate Stealth. I practically turned invisible, immediately causing Shogun Skull and his dread ghouls to lose my trace.
Where did he go? He's using his ninja abilities to run away like a coward. No matter. We'll find and destroy him another day.
As much as I was ashamed to admit it, all I could do was run. I got out of there and ran out into the alien fields, looking for some food to satisfy my hunger. I managed to find some baked potatoes, but they were being guarded by a band of 3 brigands. Excuse me, brigands, would you be able to give me one of your baked potatoes? I'm really hungry.
Would love to, man, love to. But here's the thing, they're all mine, and I want them all. So that's gonna be a no.
The brigands attacked me, even though I was unarmed, and I needed to fight back. Luckily, my unarmed attacks actually did a lot of damage, and soon I defeated all 3 of them. That must be my ninja martial arts training kicking in. There's hope for me yet. On day 2, after eating some of those baked potatoes and storing the rest, I left the alien fields for the Ebony Woods, looking for the right place to build a base. The Ebony Woods are dark and mysterious, perfect for a secretive Warden Ninja. I used my martial arts powers to start punching down a tree and gathered up the resources to make myself a crafting bench and used it to create a wooden pickaxe. Then I mined into the ground for some stone to make my first set of stone tools and a basic stone katana of my own. Now we're cooking with gas. I used my new tools to clear a tree and start building a new secretive ninja base. I did some mining underground because I wanted the base to be a secret, so most of it would need to be under the surface. It's a good start. I'll do more later, but first, I need to figure out what's going on around here and why Shogun Skull is putting a hit on Warden Ninja heads. I went exploring around the Ebony Forest, looking for clues, until I found another gang of dread ghouls that Shogun Skull had sent after me. Big mistake, guys. This time, I'm armed. I pulled out my stone katana and made short work of the dread ghoul gang, leaving only one remaining. Tell me everything I need to know about Shogun Skull.
You fool! Even me talking about him seals my doom. You should know you are a key part of his...
Boom! The last Dread Ghoul exploded! It must have been Shogun Skull's doing. He really was powerful. But what was he trying to say? I'm a key part of what? Better keep watching if you want to find out with me. On day 3, I continued searching around the Ebony Forest. I needed some kind of lead, some kind of vital clue, before I could progress any further. That's when I happened upon a small hut in the middle of the woods, where a strange man was just sitting around. Hi, I'm Zozo. Who are you?
I'm a nomad.
Oh yeah? What does that mean?
It means I used to wander around a lot, but since I got old and settled down, I don't do much traveling these days. What brings you to the Ebony Woods, Zozo?
He gave me some mushroom stew, and I sat down to talk to him. Well, I'm a Warden Ninja, and I used to live in a big Warden Ninja hideout with others like me. But then, Shogun Skull attacked, and now I think I might be the only one left.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You know, things were once more peaceful across the land. There were dangerous creatures around, and sometimes a fight would happen, sure. But overall, we lived in harmony. Until one day, all of the leaders across the land suddenly disappeared, and the Shogun Skull rose up, taking on everything and everyone. He's the uncontested ruler now.
But we can't just let that happen. What should we do, Nomad?
It won't be easy, but your quest is simple, Zozo. You're going to destroy Shogun Skull.
From day 4 to day 5, I still had more questions about how the world got this way. I just didn't understand how one person could take over the whole world.
Well, Zozo, you must understand that the Shogun didn't just win by sheer brute strength. In his Shogun's palace to the east, he made some valuable alliances with different groups. First, he made an alliance with the Dread Ghoul army, promising all the land and food they could want if they helped him rise to power. Then, he made a deal with the bandit warlord, the leader of the brigands. They could loot and pillage as they pleased, as long as they helped him crush his enemies. Dread ghouls and brigands started attacking any village or settlement they could find, crushing the opposition to Shogun Skull's rule. But the leaders? Nobody really knows how Shogun Skull got rid of them. He hired some other mysterious group to do his dirty work for him, but who they are has always remained a secret. In other words, to defeat Shogun Skull, there are a lot of other enemies you'll need to fight your way through first.
From day 6 to day 8, I thanked the Nomad for all the information he gave me and decided to set off and return to my base. It was getting dark, and I knew that all the mobs would be coming out soon. But on the way back to my base, I saw an innocent pink pixie cornered by a vicious feral squall golem. I needed to intervene. It's ninja time! Pulling out my stone katana, I ran in and fought the squall golem. He was much bigger and tougher than your average dread ghoul, but in the end, my stone blade and ninja training won out. The squall golem was defeated, and the pink pixie was grateful for me for saving her life.
That was so heroic! Thank you. I majorly owe you for this one.
It's no biggie. I'm Zozo, the Warden Ninja. Who are you?
I'm Polly, the pink pixie. And is there any way I can help you with your quest?
How about you come stay at my base for a while, and we figure something out together?
That sounds like a good idea.
So Polly and I returned to my base. I continued mining underground and created a cool room for her to stay in.
I'm pretty pleased with this.
Good. Now, I'm on a quest to defeat Shogun Skull. Do you have any idea what might be a good place to start?
Well, Shogun Skull is one of the greatest warriors in the world. You're gonna need to train really hard if you want to get good enough to fight him directly. Maybe you should seek out some kind of ninja master to train you.
That's an amazing idea, Polly! And so I had my next step, seeking out a ninja master to train me. And if you want to find out what happens next, keep watching until the end. Some big surprises are coming. From day 9 to day 10, I went to an underground cavern with my stone pickaxe to mine some iron for my next set of weapons, armor, and tools. I managed to gather up some iron ore when a huge hydra suddenly appeared in the cavern with me. There was no way I'd be able to fight such a powerful monster directly, so I activated my ultimate stealth and sneaked away to the exit. Sometimes the best way to fight is to not fight at all. From day 11 to day 12, I took the iron back to my base. I created a furnace and smelted it into iron ingots, which I then used to make iron armor, some iron tools, and an iron katana. And with all my fancy new gear and weapons, me and Polly the Pink Pixie decided to journey out to a nearby bayou to look for more clues. After some exploring, we stopped for a minute to talk. So Polly, what do you know about Shogun Skull? I'm trying to collect all the information I can. I think it might help me in my quest.
Well, in addition to his Dreadghoul and Brigand armies, I know he has an elite group, 3 warriors spread out across the land who help enforce his will.
3 elite warriors? Sounds like I better take care of them before I take on Shogun Skull himself. Who are these 3 warriors?
There's the Gold Creeper, a walking weapon of mass destruction that people always fear is gonna blow up. Then there's the Fire Elemental, a powerful being with mastery over flame. And finally, there's the Crimson Wizard, a crafty and intelligent sorcerer who has mastered the Mystic.
Wow, sounds like I've got my work cut out for me then. Before I could ask any more questions, a bunch of monster mushrooms attacked us. Even with my iron katana, it wasn't easy to take them down. These mushrooms meant business. But when I did take them down, I transformed into a bigger, stronger Warden Ninja with 20 hearts. Whoa, this is awesome! Better stick around to see what I transform into next.
That's rad, Zozo. But hey, maybe next time we should go somewhere a little drier. This bayou is just gross.
From day 13 to day 15, Polly and I returned to my base. I decided to spruce it up a little, adding some plants and other decorative improvements, and actually decided to make myself a proper room. Just because it's a secret underground base doesn't mean it has to be drab and dreary. That's when I remembered what Polly had said to me.
Maybe next time we should go somewhere a little drier. This bayou is just gross.
And it hit me, what could be drier than the Mojave Desert? Maybe I'd have some luck finding someone there. After taking some time to rest, I went out to the Mojave Desert. It was just as dry and hot as I expected, but there didn't seem to be much going on. That's when I was attacked by the Desert Lord, the ruler of the desert. Because he was on his own home turf, he was even faster and stronger than a ninja, and it was too late for me to use ultimate stealth. I broke away from the fight and stood back, but the Desert Lord still seemed ready to battle. You are a trespasser on this land. This is my desert, and I'll never let you or the diabolical Shogun Skull you serve claim it. Wait, there's been a misunderstanding. I don't work for Shogun Skull. I want to defeat him. Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed you was working for the Dread Shogun. But why? Didn't all the Warden Ninjas used to work for him? My mind was blown. It all made sense now. The mysterious third group who worked with the Shogun Skull, it must have been the Warden Ninjas. But why was he trying to destroy them now? Desert Lord, you've given me a lot to think over. Would you like to come back to my base and we can work together to defeat Shogun Skull? Well, I hate to leave my desert, my true home. For now, it seems working together is the most sensible choice. Let's go, Warden Ninja. The name's Zozo. Follow me. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base with the Desert Lord. I mined a new underground room for him, complete with a bed and even a few sandblocks, just to help him feel at home. It's not exactly the desert, but thank you, Zozo. This'll do. Seeing as how exploring had helped me discover plenty of interesting new things so far, I decided to continue visiting new locations, so I left my base once more. I went out to the prairie next to see what I could find. That's where I ran into a camel. Hey, Mr. Camel, I'm Zozo. Is there anything I can help you with?
The name's Joe. And as a matter of fact, there is. For the longest time, I've wanted to build a nice beach house on the Rainbow Beach, but it's infested by wraiths now. If you could help me clean out those wraiths so I can build my beach house, I'll give you a weapon I've been holding on to for a while. Something you might find useful.
That sounds like a good deal to me, Joe. From day 20 to day 22, I journeyed out to the Rainbow Beach to complete my mission for Joe the Camel. It was a really beautiful place. I could see why he wanted a beach house out here. When I ran into the group of wraiths he told me about, I drew my katana and charged in, slicing and dicing in a way that would make any Warden Ninja proud. Soon, they were all defeated. I'm getting the hang of this whole ninja thing. Then, I saw something quickly moving towards me and noticed it was the Gold Creeper, one of the elite Shogun Skull warriors that Polly had told me about. Oh no, I gotta bounce. I didn't have any long-range weapons, so all I could do was run for my life as the Gold Creeper chased me. If it exploded while I was too close, I was doomed. But I kept chasing, getting closer and closer and closer. It started to get too close for comfort, so I jumped forward into some nearby water, hoping it would at least provide some protection. Boom! the gold creeper exploded! It was the biggest explosion I'd ever seen, taking a huge chunk out of the beach around me. But I'd survived! I'd completed Joe the Camel's quest, and I'd defeated one of Shogun Skull's 3 elite warriors. I'd call this a successful day. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the prairie and met with Joe the Camel again. He was pleased to find out I'd gotten rid of the wraiths, and less pleased to find out the golden creeper had blown a big hole into the Rainbow Beach.
Still, a deal's a deal, kid, and you held up your end. You can take this set of throwing axes I have. Since you're a ninja, you'll probably benefit from some thrown weapons, perfect for those stealthy kinds of attacks.
Wow, these will be so useful! Thanks, Joe!
Don't mention it. If you need me, I'll be off constructing my beach house.
With that quest taken care of, I decided to continue exploring the world. I reached the scenic Red Oak Forest, where I ran into a gang of mossy skeletons working for Shogun Skull.
You're in some real trouble now. No bones about it.
That was an awful pun. Eat axe. I tried out one of my new throwing axes on the first of the mossy skeletons, defeating him instantly. Then I pulled out my iron katana to deal with the rest. It didn't take long for me to defeat them, all except one, who I needed some information from. Tell me what Shogun Skull is planning.
Ha! You're deluding yourself if you think you can beat him. He just sent out the armored Vindicator. If that thing gets you, you're doomed! Doomed!
With a strike of my katana, I finished him off. That gave me enough XP to level up, getting bigger, jumping up to 30 hearts, and getting access to my Warden Sonic Boom ability. This will be useful for helping me take on that armored Vindicator guy, if I ever even see him. From day 27 to day 31, I started making my way back to my base through the Ebony Forest. I was feeling pretty good about all my recent victories and the new abilities and weapons I'd gained. I'm actually feeling pretty unstoppable right now. And that's exactly when the armored Vindicator hopped out and attacked me. He was just as big and scary as the mossy skeleton had implied, and he was wielding a menacing axe.
Your journey is at an end, Warden Ninja. If you give up now, I can promise it'll be relatively painless.
I'll never give up. I'm willing to fight you to the bitter end.
Good. I was hoping you'd say that.
The armored Vindicator attacked once more. Every hit he gave me was shockingly damaging. Even with all my upgrades, I couldn't beat him at my current strength. Instead, I turned and ran back towards my base, narrowly managing to outrun and lose the armored Vindicator. That would be a battle for another day. When I reached my base, the Desert Lord and Polly the Pink Pixie seemed impressed with my new size. Looks like that training is really paying off, Zozo. You're looking swole.
It's true. Just so much bigger and stronger than you used to be.
And since you're here, I've also got something that I think you'd like. My research suggests that if you go to the Rose Fields and seek out the Sergeant, he may be able to give you some information that'll help you with your quest. Wow, that's amazing news!
Just be careful out there. I've heard that the Sergeant isn't exactly the friendliest guy out there.
With that in mind, I left my base and headed in the direction of the Rose Fields. From day 32 to day 35, following the Desert Lord's instructions, I went out to the Rose Fields. There, I saw the Sergeant sitting down and meditating among the roses. I didn't expect it'd be so easy to find him. I approached the Sergeant and called out to him. "Excuse me, Mr. Sergeant. I've been told you have some interesting information. Could we talk about it?" But the Sergeant didn't seem like he wanted to talk. Instead, he got up, ran towards me, and started fighting me with his fists. I didn't even have time to reason with him. All I could do was fight back against his onslaught of punches. After I survived for long enough, the Sergeant relaxed. He'd had his fun.
Nice skills, kid. Sorry, what can I say? I like a good fight. What information did you want?
I've been told you know a lot about Shogun Skull. I'm trying to defeat him.
Ha, Shogun Skull. I fought against his army back in the day. I was involved in a lot of those battles. What is it you want to know about him?
I want to know what the Warden Ninjas had to do with his rise to power, and I want to know why he wants us all destroyed now.
That much is simple. As part of Shogun Skull's takeover plans, he needed to destroy the leaders and guardians of the free people to demoralize them and break their spirits. While his armies fought their armies, he needed an elite group of assassins to take out the high-value targets. That's where the Warden Ninjas came in. They are excellent assassins, and with their stealth skills, they could sneak in and get the job done. And they did their job very, very well. But once their job was done and Shogun Skull was in power, he knew that if the Warden ninjas could help him into power, they might also be able to topple his throne. So he sent out his armies of dread ghouls and brigands to destroy every Warden ninja. You, kid, are probably the last one left.
From day 36 to day 39, I returned to my base. Knowing that I was public enemy #1 for Shogun Skull made me realize I could really do with some better armor, so I asked Polly for ideas.
I think the Shogun has a base in the tropical rainforest where you might be able to find some diamonds. Diamond armor and a diamond katana would be a huge help for you.
Excellent idea, Polly. I'll go there now. I didn't waste any time getting to the tropical rainforest and beginning my search for the enemy base. On the way there, I ran into an air elemental that lives in the forest.
Excuse me, kind sir. I have a quest I need help with. Some nasty dead worms have invaded my beautiful rainforest. If you see them, do me a kindness and perform a little pest control, would you?
Of course, I'll definitely get rid of those dead worms if I see them. I kept searching until I struck gold. Well, not actual gold. I found the enemy base, guarded by a pair of dread ghouls, and it was time to fight my way inside. From day 40 to day 43, the fight began, first with the dread ghouls. That was an extremely quick battle. I pulled out my throwing axes and threw one at each of them, defeating them instantly. Then I ran into the base, ready for the real fight to begin. And it would definitely be a real fight because the armored Vindicator was in there, waiting for me.
Finally, I can finish what I started and destroy you, Zozo. At least this time, you won't run away like a sad little coward like you did before.
No, this time I really am going to fight you with all I've got. The armored Vindicator charged at me. I unleashed the sonic boom, stunning him. While he was stunned, I finished him off with my powerful ninja swing. I told you I'd beat you, armored Vindicator. I'm a Warden ninja of my word. With him gone, I searched around the room until I found a chest. Just like Polly the Pink Pixie had told me, there were diamonds inside. Looks like my armor and weapons are about to level up. From day 44 to day 49, I crafted my diamonds into a powerful diamond katana and even had some diamonds left over to make a full set of diamond armor. I'd hate to have to go against me using this bad boy. After that, I left the base with my new diamond katana in hand, looking forward to finding something to use it on. And as luck would have it, I happened upon a small gang of vicious dead worms. Hey, the air elemental told me to get rid of these. Time to kill 2 worms with 1 sword. Okay, a few more than 2. With my diamond katana, I defeated all the dead worms with ease and destroyed the infestation. Not even the Shogun himself could deny I was stronger than ever now. From day 50 to day 53, as I traveled further through the tropical rainforest, I came upon a cave that I sensed an unusual amount of power coming out of. This must have something to do with Shogun Skull. I should go investigate, just in case. But when I was about to enter the cave, a magical genie came floating out of it.
Halt, traveler. You are approaching the cave of the fire elemental. If you wish to enter, then you need to answer my riddle.
I remembered that the fire elemental was the second of the elite warriors working for Shogun Skull. I needed to answer the riddle, get in there, and defeat him. Okay, what's your riddle?
I belong to you, but your friends use me more often. What am I?
It was a challenging one. What do you think? Do you know the answer to the riddle? If you do, let me know down in the comments to help me out. Can you repeat the riddle?
I belong to you, but your friends use me more often. What am I?
That's tough. Wait, I've got it! You're my name. It belongs to me, but my friends use it more often when they talk to me.
Correct. You may pass through.
I entered the cave and saw the fire elemental waiting for me. He sent a few fire blasts my way, which I was luckily able to dodge. I fired a sonic boom at the fire elemental, then ran in with my diamond katana. With a few quick, decisive swipes, the fire elemental was destroyed. 2 of Shogun Skull's 3 warriors were destroyed, and I was ready to level up. I got bigger, stronger, and my hearts grew to 40. I had also developed ninja speed, making me faster than ever before. I'm on the path to becoming a true ninja. I bet the Shogun is quivering in his boots.
From day 54 to day 57, I was using my new ninja speed to zip through the forest. My powers were growing, but I needed some kind of way to hone my skills. Why can't I find the Ninja Master Mentor? I've searched everywhere and I still can't find him. Unless I've already found him and didn't even know. That's when it hit me. It was right under my nose from the very beginning. The nomad in his little hut in the ebony forest. The nomad who'd known a suspicious amount about what was going on in the world. I need to go back to the nomad right now. So I sped right back to the small hut in the forest, only to see the nomad outside again, waiting for me.
I wondered when you'd be back, Zozo. Glad you finally figured it all out. So, are you ready to begin your training?
From day 58 to day 62, the Nomad Master began his training. He said there would be 3 lessons. The first would be cutting down trees to practice my sword swings and to help me focus.
If you can slice through a tree, then no enemy should pose a challenge to you.
Next, he made me practice sword fighting with him. He was a tough opponent, but I could feel myself getting better as the sparring went on. And for the third lesson, he released a giant mummy scorpion and got it to chase me around until I finally built up the courage to defeat it with my diamond katana. Afterwards, I returned to the Nomad Master's hut.
You have done well, Zozo, and proven you are worthy. I'll teach you my special technique, Ultimate Slash. Much stronger than a regular slash. Use it wisely.
Thank you, Master. I will use it with honor. From day 63 to day 66, I returned to my base, only to see it under attack by a gang of dread ghouls straight from the Shogun's palace. Hey, get away from my base! I pulled out my diamond katana and ran in, taking them out with my ninja speed and ultimate slashes. It didn't take long for me to defeat them all, and that's when the Desert Lord ran up to me. Zozo, we need your help. Some of those dread ghouls kidnapped Polly, the pink pixie. We need to get her back. Oh no, where did they take her? Out into the ebony forest. You need to get after them, quickly. Don't worry, Desert Lord, I'm on it. From day 67 to day 70, I used my ninja speed to run back through the ebony forest, looking for the dread ghouls that kidnapped Polly. It didn't take long for me to find them. Don't worry, Polly, I'm coming to save you. Thanks to all my training, these dread ghouls weren't a challenge for me. I slashed through them with my diamond katana until only me and Polly remained.
That was amazing, Zozo, thank you. You saved my life from all those dread ghouls.
I'm so sorry for ever letting you get kidnapped in the first place, Polly. Let's go back to the base. We returned to the base, and I decided that after all this, I needed to put in an extra line of defense, building a defensive wall around the base's entrance. Better safe than sorry. I can't risk another attack while I'm away like that again. From day 71 to day 74, I wasn't sure where to go next. I knew that I needed to defeat the Crimson Wizard before I could take on Shogun Skull himself, but I wasn't sure where to find him. So instead, I decided to go back to one of the deadliest enemies I'd left behind before. With my new skills and my diamond katana, I returned to the underground cavern where I'd faced the Hydra before. As soon as I entered the cave, I blasted him with a powerful sonic boom, momentarily stunning him, and ran in with my ninja speed, hitting him with ultimate slash again and again, faster than he could even regenerate from it. Thankfully for both of us, the Hydra tapped out and agreed to tell me anything I wanted to know.
You're looking for the Crimson Wizard, right? No worries, I know exactly where he is. You just need to go to the Weeping Witch Forest. He's guarded by some brigands. Just go after him and leave me alone, please.
I left the Hydra to his own devices and ran off. I had a Crimson Wizard to defeat. From day 75 to day 78, I followed the advice given to me by the Hydra and traveled all the way to the Weeping Witch Forest. A place like this is a perfect hideout for an evil wizard. Why didn't I think of this sooner? I continued to go further in until I fell down a hill and found myself surrounded by brigands, just like the Hydra told me.
You wandered right into our trap, Zozo. There's no way you're ever gonna escape us here.
I don't want to escape, brigand. You and your bosses are the ones I've come here for. With my ninja speed and my diamond katana, I zipped from brigand to brigand, taking out each one with a single strike. Once they were down, all that was left to do was hunt down the Crimson Wizard. But the last thing I expected was for him to come to me instead. The Crimson Wizard appeared right in front of me and fired an energy blast that took out a number of my hearts. It was clear that he was the strongest of the Shogun Skull's 3 elite warriors.
This is hardly even a challenge. Why don't you show me your good time, Zozo? Have you come this far just to perish?
How's this for a good time? While the Crimson Wizard was distracted by his own gloating, I ran in and struck him with my katana, hitting him so hard and fast, he was immediately destroyed! Probably should have fully defeated me before you started bragging, Crimson Wizard. And this means that I've defeated all 3 of the Elite Warriors! And that clearly meant something, because I leveled up into my strongest form yet, with 60 hearts! It's time to finally defeat Shogun Skull! From day 79 to day 84, I returned to my base to give Polly the Pink Pixie and the Desert Lord the good news. They looked amazed at my size and abilities.
This is incredible, Zozo.
It's amazing to see how far you've come, Zozo. We're so proud of you.
Thanks, guys. I think I'm ready to defeat Shogun Skull. Do you have any idea where I can find the Shogun's palace?
I can help you there, Zozo. I went there once. It's deep in the Zelkova forest, and I can lead you there.
Thank you, Desert Lord. Let's go! From day 85 to day 89, the Desert Lord and I traveled to the far east, into the Zelkova forest. We stopped for a moment for one last discussion. Desert Lord, it'll be too dangerous from here. I'll go alone.
Are you sure, Zozo? I don't want you to get hurt.
It's okay. I've been training for almost 100 days. I believe I can do this.
Okay, Zozo. I wish you luck.
And with that, the Desert Lord and I went our separate ways. From day 90 to day 94, I traveled deeper into the Zelkova forest, searching for the Shogun's palace. It's gotta be around here somewhere. Where could Shogun Skull be hiding?
Right behind you.
I turned around just in time to see Shogun Skull standing right behind me. Before I could fight back, he hit me and everything went black. When I woke up again, I was in the Badlands, miles away from where I was supposed to be, with Osiris standing right in front of me. You're not who I wanted to fight, but I guess you'll have to do. I still had my diamond katana, thankfully, and used Ultimate Slash on Osiris. He wasn't that hard to defeat, but knowing how far I was behind on my plans to defeat Shogun Skull now, I felt terrible. All I could do was make my way back to my base and figure out a new plan. This is gonna be a long week. From day 95 to day 97, I continued making my way back through the Badlands, frustrated that Shogun Skull and his minions had put me so far behind schedule. And speak of the devil, a gang of dread ghouls emerged from behind some rocks.
It's over, Zozo. We're going to be the ones to take you down.
Better mobs have tried and failed. I don't fancy your chances. I didn't have much time to waste on these guys, so I hit them with a sonic boom, then finished the rest of them off with a diamond katana. Shogun Skull, your end is near. On day 98, I returned to my base, exhausted from all the setbacks that had slowed me down and gotten in my way. I returned to find Polly the Pink Pixie and the Desert Lord waiting outside and looking equally sad for me.
I'm so sorry that all of this happened, Zozo. You've been facing the impossible. Perhaps we put too much pressure on you.
Maybe the Desert Lord is right, Zozo. It took a whole organization of Warden ninjas to deliver Shogun Skull into power. Maybe it was just wishful thinking to believe that one Warden ninja would be enough to overthrow him.
Guys, we can't afford to think like that. We need hope if we were ever going to win this thing. Shogun Skull is throwing everything at us, and that's because he's scared. Because he knows, deep down, that I can defeat him. So let's keep pushing and prove that evil jerk right. That seemed to pep them both back up, and if you want to support our adventures and see more, be sure to hit like and subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss another Zozo video.
Zozo, if you believe it's truly time for the final battle, I'll lead you to the Shogun's palace again. Let's bring his reign of terror to an end, once and for all.
That's what I'm talking about. Lead the way, Desert Lord. I'm ready to do this. On day 99, following the Desert Lord through the Zelkova forest, I reached the Shogun's palace where we bid farewell. Of course, Shogun Skull was never gonna let me just waltz in. The gates opened, and first, he sent out a band of brigands to attack me.
We've been promised a real good payday if we can destroy you, Zozo.
That's money you'll never get to spend. I ran in with my diamond katana, supported by my now iron willpower. I'd never let these brigands defeat me. I kept fighting until not a single one of them was left, and only I was standing. Who's next, Shogun Skull? I can take anyone you throw at me. But the next group of mobs didn't come from the palace. They snuck up behind me. It was a gang of silent assassins. They were much tougher than the brigands, but with my expert diamond katana skills, I was able to still defeat them all. By this point, I was getting tired, but I still had the will to fight. Is that all you got, Shogun? The gates opened again, and out stepped a huge warrior. It was the bandit warlord, the leader of the brigands who'd helped the Shogun rise to power all those years ago.
Your army, Zozo! You've destroyed so many of my brigands! Do you have any idea how much effort it will take to replace them all? For that, I've decided I'm going to destroy you myself!
Not if I have anything to say about it! I unleashed my sonic boom, blasting the bandit warlord right in the chest! But he tanked it! He was completely unharmed!
Ha! Pathetic! That barely tickled! Do you really think such a feeble attempt would really defeat me, the mighty bandit chief, second only to the Shogun himself? This is going to be fun!
Worried that this could be the end, I pulled out one of my axes and threw it directly at the bandit warlord. To my surprise, it destroyed him instantly. Oh, I guess he was just bragging. Huh. With his guard force taken care of, all that was left was to enter the palace and battle the Shogun himself. On day 100, I entered the Shogun's palace and found the man himself, Shogun Skull, waiting for me.
Well done, Zozo. You've proven yourself and fought with honor. For that, I will give you the privilege of a warrior's death. You deserve little else.
All that bluster can't disguise how scared you are, Shogun Skull. I know the truth. You never would have gotten to where you are without people like me. And what the Warden Ninja gives, the Warden Ninja can take away. That's the true way of the ninja.
How arrogant, Zozo. Do you really believe you can take away this?
Shogun Skull began to transform into an even larger, more dangerous version of himself. The strongest I'd ever seen him.
No more talking, Zozo. It ends now.
Well, at least we can agree on that. The battle began. The two of us clashed katanas. We seemed equally matched in skill, but because of his dark magic, Shogun Skull was bigger and stronger. For a moment, I was worried it was over for me, when suddenly my warrior spirit kicked back in, and I found the will to fight again, and I also miraculously regained all of my health. I fought harder than I ever had before, hitting Shogun Skull again and again and again, until he was almost defeated. I'd never seen him look so weak and helpless. I charged up all of my strength, and with a single blast of my sonic boom, Shogun Skull was destroyed. And peace restored to the land once more. I love a happy ending. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby dragon. Whoa, I'm no ordinary dragon. I'm a Warden dragon. I opened my mouth and shot out some dragon breath, then shot off a sonic boom. They were both pretty weak, but still cool. That's when I noticed a nearby Ender Dragon and Warden. Hey, I have the same powers as you guys. You must be my parents. My mom and dad were excited to see me, and everything was happy. But suddenly, a big buff evil Steve came out of nowhere.
What's this? A warden and a dragon combined? I already hate dragons, but a dragon combined with a warden is even worse.
Run, Zozo. We'll hold him off.
I wanted to help, but she was right. I was too weak. As I watched the battle, I saw that Buff Steve was able to destroy my dad. No, how can he be so powerful? Buff Steve then captured my mom. I had to hurry away.
You get back over here, or your mom will never be free.
Don't worry about me. Run to a portal and destroy it behind you.
I listened to my mother like any good boy should, and ran away before Buff Steve could capture me. I ran into a nether portal to escape. On day 2, I came teleporting through a nether portal, landing in the overworld. I turned and shot off my sonic boom, destroying the portal behind me. I don't know how much time that buys me, but I have to get stronger to save my mom. If I was going to save my mom, I had to get the gear to do it. Using my claws, I began gathering up some nearby materials in order to build a base. I don't need anything fancy yet, I just need something that can keep me safe. Speaking of being safe, I was suddenly attacked by a bear. Get back! I have claws too! But trying to win this fight was foolish. I had no choice but to run. Oh boy, it looks like the overworld is just as dangerous as the nether. I kept running until I found myself on a nice, steep mountain. If I hollow this place out, this could make for a perfect base. Excited with the idea, I got right to it, building my base. I have so many ideas of how I can improve it, but we'll start simple for now. Soon, the start of the base was ready. I feel like it's going pretty good so far. Tomorrow will bring me one step closer to saving my mom. On day 3, I kept mining down into the mountain when I popped out on the other side. But as luck would have it, there was something unexpected. Is that an ender dragon nest? It looked like there was an egg inside of it too. Just then, a phantom appeared. He got closer to the egg. He was going to eat it. Oh no you don't, the dragons are my friends! The phantom clearly didn't expect anyone to be here, and I was able to hit him hard. In no time, I managed to take him out. Finally, it feels good not to run away for once. And what's this? The phantom had dropped some phantom skin, which I picked up. With it gone, I was able to get really close to the egg. That's when I saw there was a note nearby. My dear child, if you are reading this, then something has happened to me. I was setting out in search of food for us. It is very likely that a powerful being called Steve may come after us. He collects powerful creatures like us dragons. Take care and stay safe. Oh no, it's not just me. Dragons everywhere are in trouble. It's not enough to just save my mom from Buff Steve. I'm going to have to defeat him. I quickly picked up the egg to take it back to my base. I could keep it safe there. On days 4 to 5, I arrived back at my base. I got right to work building an incubator for the egg. If it was going to hatch safely, it needed a good environment to thrive in. Just as I finished up, I heard a noise outside. I ran out and saw even more phantoms. Oh man, you guys really want this egg! Well, just try and take it. The phantoms did their best to take me out, but they were no match for me. They would have to try harder than that if they wanted to win. With the 2 phantoms defeated, I picked up the phantom skin they had dropped. Oh, I know just what to make with this! I went over to my crafting table and used the phantom skin to make myself some phantom skin armor. It was about as strong as leather armor, but it would be better than nothing. On days 6 to 8, I was starting to get hungry and decided to go look for food. I was a little nervous about leaving the egg behind, but if I couldn't get food, then no one would be able to protect it. I soon came across a village. Hi there, please, do you have any food to spare? The villagers took one look at me and ran away. I guess they weren't used to meeting friendly dragons, or friendly wardens for that matter. Well, no one is around, so bon appetit. I got right to work attacking the animals around. Sure, it felt bad to hurt other animals, but hey, a dragon's gotta eat. And there's no way I was going to eat a salad.
At last, I found you!
I looked and saw Buff Steve standing there. This time he had on dragon armor. He was even stronger than before. You, what do you want?
Isn't it obvious? You!
He clearly wasn't in the mood to chat, and I had no choice but to fight. I started swinging, but it was clear he was too strong.
Looks like you're all mine.
I saw a window to escape, and I took it. I had to get out of there, and fast.
You might have slipped away this time, but mark my words, I'll find you.
He was probably right, but today was not that day. On days 9 to 10, I had made it back to my base. That's when I heard a noise coming from the incubator. Oh no, the egg is in trouble! I ran into the room to find the egg was still there, but it was hatching. Suddenly, a small baby ender dragon climbed out.
Are you my mom?
Who, me? No, I'm Zozo.
Oh, so where's my mom?
I'm not sure, but she left this note in your nest. It was there when I found you, and then I brought you here to keep you safe. The little dragon read the note. I guess being able to read was a gift us dragons get at birth.
I see. I wish I could have just stayed in my egg. It's sad out here.
Hey, it's okay. There's a lot of cool things to do in the world too.
Really? Like what?
I thought about it for a moment, then told her to follow me. I instructed her to mine out a big room in the mountain because we were going to build a cool statue. I wanted to be sure we built it out of sight though, so Buff Steve wouldn't be able to find our base. The little dragon seemed to really enjoy the creative process and was much happier as we finished the first part. This is a good start, but do you have any guesses as to what it's going to be? I then got to work building her a room to stay in. I knew how hard it was to get your mom taken away from you, so I wanted to be sure she was happy and comfortable. Soon, her room was completed too. On days 11 to 12, the little dragon came out of her room to chat.
Hey Zozo, what's my name?
Oh, I guess you were born yesterday and could probably use one of those. How about Sivith?
Sivith? Yeah, that sounds cool. Oh, and Zozo?
Yeah, Sivith?
I'm hungry.
Oh, right. Hang tight. I'll get both of us something to eat. I went out into the land to try and find some crows to eat. After a bit of searching, I spotted a few. As I got closer though, I spotted a human nearby. Oh no, it's Steve! I went to run away when they called out to me.
Wait, little dragon!
That's when I realized it wasn't Buff Steve. I waited until they got a little closer.
Hey, don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you like Steve. My name is Alex.
What do you want?
I want to help you. Steve and I used to be friends, but not anymore.
What happened?
Steve and I used to adventure together, along with our friend Brianna. One day we were exploring the Nether and came across the Nether Dragon. The dragon didn't mind us being there until Brianna decided to mess with the dragon's eggs. There's something magical about them, and Brianna got too close. The Nether Dragon destroyed her as the three of us tried to escape. I was sad, but Steve was angry. He vowed to take revenge on all dragons. He finds them and locks them away in his base as revenge. Through this, he has become stronger, but more evil, turning into what he is today. I feel like it's my responsibility to stop him.
Thank you for sharing that with me. He captured my mom and my friend's mom. If we team up, we can stop him.
Yes, I was thinking that as well. Although, I think it's important for me to keep searching for more dragons, so I can warn them about Steve. But here, take this horn. If you ever need to talk to me, you can use this.
I took the horn and thanked her for her help. Maybe we could defeat him after all. On days 13 to 15, I continued looking for food as I thought about everything Alex had told me. Oh no, it's that bear again! I have to fight him off, otherwise I might not be able to find more food for days. I was stronger now, so I charged in to fight. The bear was still really strong and really packed a punch. But everyone was counting on me. I couldn't lose. I kept swinging and finally took him out. What's this? I feel so much more powerful. Suddenly, I leveled up, growing in size and gaining more hearts. Whoa, I feel amazing! If I keep growing like this, maybe I can actually stop Buff Steve. I quickly gathered up the chickens and started leading them back to the base. On days 16 through 19, I arrived back at the base with the chickens. I got right to work building a coop for them to live in. Once the coop was complete, I went over to Sivith to tell her about the chickens, and also Alex.
This Alex sounds really nice, but I do have one question about everything you told me.
What's that?
Why are we eating eggs? Dragons come out of eggs too, so that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different. Try not to think about it too much. I left Sivith to think about life and got to work building a mine. I might be able to grow in strength, but I can also build strength by making better armor and weapons. Speaking of which, I found some iron. Oh, perfect! I can finally get rid of my leather armor. This is great! Back in the base, I smelted down all of the iron, then used the iron to make myself a fresh set of armor and weapons. I'm feeling better already. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with a bad feeling in my stomach. I went to Sivith's room and saw she was missing. Sivith? Sivith, where are you? Just then, I heard another sound. It was the horn Alex had given me. She was calling me. I ran out of the base toward the sound. Maybe Alex knew what had happened to her. Soon, I saw Alex. What's going on?
Zozo, I called for you as soon as I could. I caught sight of Steve. He was chasing a baby dragon. That's not your friend, right?
I don't know. It might be. She wasn't in her room this morning.
Oh no. I'm not strong enough to face Steve yet, but I'll tell you where you need to go.
Alex explained where she saw them, and I hurried off. I soon got to the place Alex described and saw Steve was about to capture Sivith. I had to do something. Hold it right there, Steve. I jumped between the two of them.
Out of my way. I hate dragons, and this one is no different. Wait, you're that warden dragon I saw earlier. You're the worst kind of dragon of all.
Quick, Sivith, run! Steve wasn't paying attention, and Sivith was able to get away. Steve was then so distracted by her escaping that I was able to escape too.
Hang on, you're not getting away this time.
Steve chased after us, and I tried to knock him back while Sivith got away. He was still too strong, but I was able to get enough hits in to stop him from capturing us. Sivith managed to get away. Soon after, I was able to lose Steve in the trees. Sivith and I met back up, then hurried back to the base. On days 23 to 26, Sivith and I arrived back at the base. I was really worried about what had happened.
I'm so sorry, Zozo. Are you mad at me?
That depends. What happened? Did Steve find our base?
No, I left to go and find more supplies to upgrade our stuff when Steve came out of nowhere and tried to grab me. So you don't need to be mad because he didn't find our base.
I would have been worried if he found our base, but I'm mad that you left. You could have been captured and I would have never seen you again. I could tell Sivith felt really bad. Look, it's okay. I'm sorry for being mad. I know you were just trying to help, but right now it's too risky. Promise me you'll stay at the base from now on?
Okay, I promise. But Zozo?
Yeah?
Before Steve popped out, I did see something interesting. I think you should go check it out.
Sivith explained where I needed to go, and she was right. It did sound like a good place to go. Nice one, Sivith. I'll go take a look. After a bit, I arrived at the place she described. It was a large temple. I stepped inside and was immediately attacked by a bunch of husks. Oh, go drink some water, you dust heads. The husks did their best to bring me down, but I took them out first. After the last one had disappeared, I saw something interesting. Oh, and what might this be? I took a look and saw that there was a bone sword. Wow, this is cool. That's when I realized that the sword also gave me a special ability. Now I could spit spikes. Now that is awesome and mildly confusing. I tested it out, sending spikes shooting at the wall. As I hit the wall, murals started to appear. Just then, a mummy came out and attacked me. Oh, someone is jealous of my spit takes. I kept launching spit spikes at him, slowly wearing him down. He was not a fan, but it didn't matter because I had to survive this. Soon enough, he was gone. So what's up with these murals? I took a closer look and realized they told the story of an epic adventure. One you can watch if you search for my channel, Zozo, Z-O-Z-O. This is when I survived 100 days as Moses. You'll really like that one if you're liking this one so far. On days 27 to 31, I had left the temple and arrived back at the base. As I entered my base, I could barely recognize Sivith. She was now the same size as me. Wow, Sivith, you're even stronger now, and I know just the way to celebrate. Sivith and I headed out to do some more work on the statue. Sivith felt like a little sister to me, and I was happy to have someone on my side. Together we could do anything. We were finishing up the next part of the statue when Sivith had a thought of her own to share.
This is looking good, but something isn't quite right. Feels like it could use a different material.
I think you're right, and I know just what to get. I took off to grab the material I had in mind. I am a little bigger now. I wonder if I can fly. I gave it a shot and found that while I couldn't fly, I could glide. Well, that's better than nothing. I soon arrived at the bottom of the hole, but was soon attacked by straddlers. Out of my way, I've got a statue to save. The straddlers did their best to knock me down, but they were no match for me. With them out of the way, I quickly found what I was looking for. This amethyst is just what we need. I can't wait to see if it looks good on the statue. I mined up as much amethyst as I thought we'd need, then got ready to head back to the base. The statue is going to look amazing now. On days 32 to 35, I was on my way back to the base when I was attacked out of nowhere by piglins. What are you nosy oinkers doing out here? I fought them off using everything I had until the last of them were defeated. That's when I heard something nearby. Hey, were you hiding from the piglins? It's okay now.
The dragon is talking to me.
The villager was so scared and tried to get away from me. But just then, another piglin popped out and started chasing after him. Hey, watch out! I rushed over and took on the piglin. In no time, I was able to defeat him.
You saved me? Wow, thanks.
No problem. Where did all of these piglins come from anyway?
I'm not sure, but my village is full of them. We could really use someone like you to come and clear them out for us. Would you be willing to help?
Say no more. I'm on the case. On days 36 to 39, I followed the villager back to his village. As we got closer, I could see he was right. The village was full of piglins. Let's try to get a better view of what's going on. We snuck around the outside of the town to get a better viewpoint of what was happening.
You see that structure in the middle of the town? That's where everyone is probably hiding out.
Got it. Hang back. I'm going to rush in there and get everyone out.
Whoa, hang on. I know you took those guys out back there, but those were just low-level scouts. You can't hope to take on all of those guys down there at once.
Okay, so what do you suggest?
It will be nighttime soon enough. I think we might be able to sneak in and get everyone out safely.
I'm good with that plan. We'll give it a shot. On days 40 to 43, the villager and I waited for nightfall. Soon, we saw that the piglins had begun falling asleep. It was time to make our move. Let's do this. We snuck into the village, doing our best to keep quiet. Even the smallest of noises could wake up the piglins. Which just then, there was a clang. My new villager friend accidentally bumped into something.
Sorry.
It was too late though. The piglins were awake and not happy to see us. Looks like it's plan A after all. My new friend was right. These piglins were much stronger than the scouts I had fought outside the village. What he wasn't right about though was my ability to take them on. I was tough, and the piglins fell one by one as I took them out. Soon enough, they were all defeated.
Zozo, you did it.
We then went over to the scared villagers, who weren't exactly happy to see me.
Don't worry, everyone. He's a friend. I know dragons can be scary, but Zozo here was the one who rescued all of us. We owe him our lives.
The villagers were happy to find out I wasn't there to eat them, and it felt good for people to see me as the hero.
Thanks again, Zozo. And in the future, if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
Will do. Now I've got a statue to go work on. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base and got to work adding the amethyst to the statue. Sivith was right. This was just what it needed. All right, now we're making some good progress, but still have a ways to go. What do you think so far? All of the building and rescuing from the previous days had made me realize how badly I needed to be protecting myself from attack, so I made sure to do some work on the base. We were going to need strong defenses and traps if Steve ever found us. It had been a while since I had run into him, but I was sure something was going to happen with him soon. On days 50 to 53, I received a message from Alex. Steve and his goons were on the way to my base. How did they find us?
All I know is that he was told something by a villager.
A villager? After everything I did for that guy, he still didn't trust me.
Oh, no, not the guy that was working with you. Just someone from his village.
Still, it's a shame they would sell us out like that. Well, thanks for the warning. I'll go tell Sivith. I ran over to Sivith. Get ready, Sivith. They're coming for us, and we're going to be in for the fight of our lives. Meanwhile, outside the castle, Steve soon arrived with a gang of other players.
Oh, Zozo, the jig is up. We're here for you and that little friend of yours.
I don't care what you want. We didn't do anything to you. Let us live our lives in peace.
Peace is not an option. Attack!
Steve motioned for two of his soldiers to charge. As they got closer to the door, our traps started firing arrows, which quickly took them out. You're smarter than you look, but there's plenty more where that came from. Next up came an archer, who did their best to try and disable our traps, shooting flaming arrows into them. Unfortunately, that seemed to do the trick, and the trap stopped working. Two griefers came up to the door, laid some TNT, and lit it. But suddenly, the traps came back to life, taking out the archer and trapping the griefers in. There was an explosion, which took them out, but also took out the traps and door. The base was open now, though, and the players started to run in, but not before falling into my pitfall trap. Another noob tried running in too, but fell right into the hole. Just then, someone vented in through the side and took a look in the hole. Unfortunately for them, their Spec Ops teammate popped in and knocked them down the hole. These guys really need to learn to work together. He filled in the hole, and the rest of the team charged in. Bring it on! The players charged at me, while I did my best to fight them off. Leave us alone! We didn't do anything to you! Most of the players were pretty weak, but I could hear someone setting off explosions in the background. I had to hurry. I had defeated most of the players when one stronger one with a flaming sword stepped up to fight. Look, man, you don't want to mess with me. The player simply attacked. His flaming sword was really strong and kept setting me on fire. Yeah, okay, I see why people don't like Dragon's fire breath. Ouch! He was tough, but my attacks were getting the job done. I could tell he was getting weak, and I got him lined up with the edge. Have a good flight! I hit him hard, sending him flying over the edge. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I grew into an even bigger dragon with more hearts. Yes, I feel amazing! Just then, I heard Sivith let out a cry. She was in trouble. I looked and saw she had been captured by Steve. Ha ha ha! Say goodbye to your little friend. Steve ran out of the base with Sivith in chains. I've got to stop him! I ran out of the base, but two more of Steve's players were waiting for me. They weren't very strong, but they gave Steve enough time to get away. I knocked them out, but it was too late. Hang on, Sivith. I'll find you. On days 54 to 57, I got out the horn and gave Alex a call. She arrived soon after.
Zozo, you look so sad. What's wrong?
They got Sivith. I've never felt so hopeless. Do you know where they might be taking her?
I'm sorry, Zozo. I really wish I could help, but I have no idea where they could be going.
I could tell Alex felt really bad, and she offered me some raw beef to cheer me up.
Look, we'll find her. In the meantime, let's get this place fixed up. You won't be of any use to Sivith if they come back and capture you too.
I agreed, and Alex and I got to work repairing the base. We had soon finished up the repairs, but I was still feeling a little bit down. One thing that I thought might help, though, was working on the statue. Alex offered to help on that as well, which made me grateful to have a friend in her. I was so worried about myself and my problems, I hadn't really thought much about what Alex was going through. Thanks for all of your help, Alex. I know you're going through a lot too, so it means a lot you are willing to help me.
Anytime, Zozo. Now take care. I've got some things to take care of.
I said goodbye and got ready for bed. Tomorrow I would figure out what I needed to do to save Sivith. On days 58 to 62, I headed into the mines. I didn't know where I needed to go to find Sivith, but I knew I needed to be stronger before I could do anything anyway. As I explored the mines, I was suddenly attacked by silverfish. These guys have always grossed me out. They were quick little buggers and hard to hit. Lucky for me though, I was able to take them out without taking too much damage. I continued into the mines and soon found some diamonds. Excellent, this is just what I need. I swung my pickaxe and gathered up lots of diamonds. I was going to have much better gear now. With all of my diamonds collected, I made my way back out of the mines. Back in my base, I got right to work crafting all of the diamond gear that I could. Steve wasn't going to know what hit him. On day 63 to 66, I woke up with a brilliant idea. I might not know where Steve is, but I know someone who might. And something tells me they are not going to be happy to see me. I took off towards the village I had saved days earlier. It was time to have a chat with the villager who ratted me out. As I arrived in the village, I saw my friend from earlier. I explained the situation to him, as well as who I was looking for.
I'm sorry to hear it, but I can't say I'm surprised. Billiam has always been the village rat. I know just where you can find him.
We headed off and found Billiam.
Whoa, you're, bigger than the last time we saw you.
I am. I'm quite a bit stronger, too. I can break little villagers like you with no problem.
Oh, wow, yeah. Well, you're not gonna do that, are you?
That's up to you. My home was attacked by Steve and his goons. My friend was taken prisoner. I can't forgive this, but I might be able to look past it if you tell me where I can find her.
I'm sorry, but I don't know where they might have taken her.
Uh-oh, that's the wrong answer. I took a deep breath and got ready to blast him.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. I don't know where they would have taken her, but I can tell you where to find Steve's messenger that I talked to.
I thought about it and decided that was probably the best thing I was going to get from this guy. All right then, looks like today's your lucky day. William spilled everything he knew about where I could find this messenger. After he had told me everything, I headed out. Something tells me Billiam is not going to be very welcome in his village anymore. Sounds like that's in the best interest of everybody. On day 67 to 70, I arrived at the fortress that Billiam had told me about. I charged up to the base and immediately started attacking the guards. Where is your leader? Where is Sivith? The guards weren't interested in my questions and simply did their best to fight me off. But my friend was in danger and nothing was going to stop me. Out of my way, tin heads! As I fought my way through, I soon came across an even bigger guard. This guy was tougher than the first ones, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. He swung at me and did some serious damage. It really hurt, but I swung back and was able to take him out. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I had made it into the castle, and more of the big guys were trying to take me down. They swung, I dodged, and knocked their blocks off. Hang on, Sivith, I'm coming! On days 71 to 74, I had officially made it into the fortress. It was as if the whole base had been alerted to my presence, as every bad guy in the place was swarming in on me. I don't care how many of you there are, I'm going to make it to the top. As I knocked guard after guard out of my way, I eventually found myself inside a library. Wait a second, what's this? I had found some kind of special item. With this, I have the strongest spike attack I can get. Excited with my new ability, I immediately put it to the test. There were some guards up on the balconies, and I managed to take them out. Oh yeah, whoever this guy is, he's in for a real surprise. On days 75 to 78, I made it to what looked like the lair of the castle's boss. You there, you must know where Steve is keeping his prisoners. Tell me, or else.
Heh, you really think I'm gonna help a dragon? Look at me. Steve has been stealing the power of the dragons to make us stronger, and there's no way you'll be able to defeat me.
What? What does he hope to gain from all of this?
Not only will he finally destroy all dragons, but he will become a powerful dragon himself. Then no one can stop us.
Yeah? Well, this dragon isn't going to let that happen. Bring it on! The henchman and I started to fight. I did my best to fight him off, but since he had been given dragon powers, he was incredibly strong. This wasn't going to be a simple fight. Do you really think Steve will let you live your life once he's king? He's going to turn on anyone who has even a little bit of power.
Silence! You don't know what you're talking about. But it doesn't matter, because you're going to lose.
It looked like there was no talking sense into this guy. The fight was getting intense, but it was time to end it. I focused all of my energy, used all of my attacks, and at long last, I won! The henchman was nearly defeated.
No! How could I lose to a measly dragon?
Last chance, tell me where Steve's base is.
Never!
The henchman leapt forward to attack me, but I took him out instead. Well, maybe there's something around here that can help me out. On day 79 to 84, I started taking a look around the castle. Wait, what's this? Inside of a chest was a bunch of golden apples. Suddenly, there was a sound outside. As I ran out to look, I could see Steve in the distance, and he was looking right at me.
Ah, Zozo. Just the one I was looking for.
What do you want, Steve? Where's Sivith?
Who? Heh, who cares? All you need to know is I finally finished my potion. The power of the dragons is finally mine. I received word you were here, so I thought I'd let you be the first one to see.
Steve drank down a potion and suddenly started to change. He turned into a disfigured but powerful dragon. Steve, what have you done?
Ha ha ha. Here, let me show you up close.
Steve took off into the air and flew toward me. I was strong, but not strong enough for this. I couldn't even fly yet. I had no choice but to run.
Come on, Zozo. What's the problem? Afraid of a little fire?
I kept running toward my base as Steve continued to chase me. I had to get to cover. We ran across the land and I finally snuck into my base. Steve flew around for a bit, but realized he couldn't fit inside. After a while, he left. I fear for the worst with Sivith. Is she still alive? On days 85 to 89, I got out of bed after a sleepless night. I had no idea if Steve would be waiting for me outside, and I couldn't risk going out there. I went back over to my statue. I had planned on completing it with Sivith, but I was worried I might not have that chance. I worked on completing the final part. Well, it's all done. It reminds me of Sivith, and she would have been proud of what we did here. I only hope I can avenge her and save everyone else from Steve's insanity. I was feeling more confident than before and stepped over to the ledge. Maybe I was strong enough to fly. I leapt over the edge and sure enough, I was able to get my wings going and fly. Yes, finally! I took some time to get used to flying. Luckily, it looked like Steve had left the area. I was able to get some good practice in when I heard Alex sounding off on her horn. I flew toward the sound and saw Alex was waiting for me.
Zozo, you did it! You're flying! This is great news!
Thanks! I just wish I knew where Steve's base was. One way or another, I've got to end this.
Well, I've got some good news for you. I found it!
I couldn't believe it. Maybe now we could finally get revenge for all the wrongs Steve had done. Even though I was feeling stronger though, I was still worried about how we could defeat Steve.
Steve is afraid of anything that might harm him, so he likes to keep that close to him. When we get to his base, we should take a look around. There might be something there that can help.
On days 90 to 94, I flew to Steve's base. As I landed outside the base, I met up with Alex. Wait a second, how did you beat me here? I was flying.
Oh, I have another highway set up, so I can get around pretty quick.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So have you seen Steve?
Not yet. I think you should be good to head inside. I'll wait out here and let you know if Steve shows up.
Sounds like a plan. Stay safe. I took off and flew over the wall, landing in the courtyard. The place was full of half-dragon guards. Oh man, what happened to you guys? As I fought off the guards, I realized that these must have been Steve's failed dragon transformation experiments. That guy was twisted. Even though they were failed experiments, they were still really strong. I was able to hold them off, but I lost some pieces of my armor in the process. Whew, okay, that was tough. Let's move in deeper and see what we can find. On days 95 to 97, I moved even deeper into the base. Jeez, this place is huge! I soon found myself in what looked to be a forge room. I decided to take a look around and see if I could find anything that could help me in my fight. There was a cool dragon statue nearby. Then I noticed a chest was near it. I wonder what could be in here. I opened the chest and saw it was full of netherite gear. This just might give me the boost I need to win the fight. I kept on exploring when suddenly I was attacked by more of Steve's minions. How many of you guys are there? I smacked as many of them out of the way as I could. If there were guys down here, I must be getting close. I was finally going to be able to get my revenge. After I defeated the last of the minions, I came face to face with another one of Steve's stronger dragon guards. The last fight against one of you was hard. Let's hope this time can be better. We both sprang into action, hitting each other and firing off different attacks. He was still really strong, but my new equipment was doing its job. I managed to get him lined up with a cliff. Hang on to your horns! I gave him a good whack and sent him flying over the edge to his doom. Bet you wish you had the power to fly. On day 98, I moved even deeper into the base. It was starting to get really cold and wet. How deep underground had I gone? More guards? No problem. At this point, I was getting pretty good at fighting these guards. That's when I realized there was a dragon in a cage nearby. It was Sivith. I defeated the last of the guards, then hurried over to the cages. Hang on, I'll get you out. I used my sonic attack and opened up the cage, freeing my small friend. I was excited to see she was still alive, but had a question to ask her. I was scared to ask, but I had to know the answer. Sivith, I'm so happy you're alive. Have you by any chance seen my mother down here? A sad expression came over Sivith's face.
I have, but unfortunately she's gone. We were only both here for a short while, but I believe she saved my life.
What do you mean?
When Steve came to extract her powers from her, she gave him even more power than she needed to.
More power? Why would she do that? That just let him turn into a dragon sooner.
It's true, but you have to understand that she was out of time, and Steve would have used my power next. He was going to figure the transformation out, but your mom sacrificed herself to be sure Steve wouldn't need to hurt me too.
Wow, I understand. She was always looking out for others.
She also told me that she believed in you, and she knew even if Steve was able to harness dragon powers, you would be able to defeat him. She told me to give this to you when you arrived.
Sivith tossed something out on the ground. Warden's heart. This was a gift to my mom from my dad. I had always heard that there was a special power inside of it that combined the power of the dragon and the warden. But before I could investigate any further, I heard a noise from Alex's horn. Steve must be here. Come on, Sivith, let's get out of here. On day 99, Sivith and I arrived back outside of the base. Alex was waiting, and we hurried over to her.
Watch out! Steve is...
Just then, Steve came smashing down into the courtyard in his dragon form.
Sorry to break up the party, but you three have been getting on my nerves.
It's over, Steve. You might look like a dragon, but you will never truly be one. It's time for you to pay for your crimes.
Is that so? Well, come and get me, Warden.
Warden? Zozo, use the Warden's heart.
I quickly grabbed the Warden's heart and activated it. I felt an amazing amount of energy flow through me, and I leveled up into my strongest, most powerful form. I can feel the full power of the Ender Dragon and the Warden within me. You're going down, Steve. Steve let out a growl as we started to fight. We flew around, launching our dragon's breath at each other. The sound of our battle could be heard for miles. Give it up, Steve. I have the power of the two most powerful beings in the land. You can't hope to defeat me.
You're just a freaky mix of two creatures.
Hey man, look who's talking! I finally landed a powerful blow, which brought Steve down to his final heart. I soared high and dive-bombed him, delivering the final blow.
Oh, no!
Steve started to explode as his head spun violently. His entire being was glitching out of existence. And stay out of our land! On day 100, Sivith, Alex, and I all made it back to our base. We had lost our families and close friends, but together we would be our own new family. And if anyone else was in trouble, we'd be here to help them out. On day 101, I was on top of the world, flying around the Alps as a fully grown Warden Dragon, one of the strongest creatures in the overworld.
I've got all my special abilities and 100 hearts. It doesn't get much better than this. But while I was busy flying and celebrating, I didn't even notice that someone was standing on the Alps. It was a scary-looking robot, and he was staring right at me with his big red eyes. I wonder who that is.
Dragon detected. Deploy attack 6. Depowering energy blast.
Before I could even react, the robot shot me with an energy blast, and something terrible happened. I fell down to the ground, feeling myself getting smaller and weaker. My 100 hearts went back down to a measly 10, and almost all of my powers disappeared. And not just that, all of my equipment disappeared too. What? This is impossible! The robot came running over to me. Who are you? Why are you doing this?
I am Dragon Slayer 3000. My primary directive is to destroy all dragons. Initiate Dragon Killer Blade.
He pulled out a scary-looking sword and charged towards me. Lucky for me, I at least had one power left, flight. I flew off as quickly as I could, leaving Dragon Slayer 3000 in the dust. I landed on the ground nearby and was immediately attacked by a saber-toothed pig. I was so weak now, I couldn't even fight back, so I just flew away as fast as I could until I got somewhere safe. I was on top of the world, and now I'm on the bottom. How could this happen? I took a second to breathe and rest. I needed a way to get my powers back and defeat Dragon Slayer 3000. On day 102, I traveled out of the cold, unforgiving world of the Alps and made my way into the nearby cherry blossom forest. Yeah, this is more like it. I just went through a traumatic event. I need somewhere nice and calm to stay. But before I could make myself a new base to stay, I needed to make myself a whole new set of tools. I busted down a tree and made myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. That's a good start. Now let's go for stone. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe and started collecting stone until I had enough to create a stone pickaxe, axe, and stone sword. It's building time! I started cutting down some of the cherry blossom trees until I'd collected enough materials to start constructing my base. I started small at first, seeing as I was small now too, building a room for myself to sleep in. But I didn't have enough material to finish the roof, so I went into the woods to collect more materials. That's when I ran into an angry zombie spoiner. Oh no, this day is bad enough already. I don't want to deal with any zombies today. I pulled out my stone sword and fought him off. Lucky for me, I still wasn't too weak to take down a zombie spoiner. Phew, now back to base building. I collected the materials I needed, then went back to my base to finish off the roof. It was a small base, but it was a good start, and I knew I could build myself back up from here. On day 103, I decided to travel around, hoping to collect some more wood for constructing my base and find out more about the crazy robot that had attacked me back in the Alps. That's why I went to the coniferous forest, but this forest wasn't quite as welcoming as the cherry blossom forest. My big clue was a huge vile ogre who showed up and tried to shake me down for some emeralds.
You have to pay the troll toll if you want to pass through this forest, puny dragon.
But you're not even a troll, you're an ogre. They're not the same thing.
Ugh, what a silly technicality. I'm gonna pound you for that, kid.
He gave me a powerful whack after that, taking off a few of my hearts. Remembering the powerful dragon I once was, I pulled out my stone sword and fought back until the vile ogre was defeated. Darn, I'm still injured though. This is the worst. But in my moment of need, a mysterious spirit appeared, the guardian of the forest.
Hello, little dragon. You're certainly a rare one.
I wasn't always little. Wait, what do you mean I'm a rare one?
That terrible machine has been destroying dragons in droves. You're the only one I've seen in ages.
Terrible machine? You mean the Dragon Slayer 3000?
The very same. You look injured. Here, take these healing potions.
I took the potions, and it immediately helped me reclaim all of my hearts. Thank you, Forest Guardian. Want to come back to my base with me? We can work towards destroying that machine for good.
I like the sound of that. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 104 to day 105, the Guardian of the Forest and I went back to my base. It was still pretty tiny, and there was no room for the Guardian to fit in as is. No worries, Guardian. I'll build you a new room where you can stay. I mined some extra wood and stone from around the cherry blossom forest and used it to add a nice new house onto the base. A house that would be perfect for a forest guardian, complete with some plants and a window to let in the sun. He seemed impressed.
This is perfect, Zozo. I think I'll enjoy my time here with you.
But he was wrong. Not everything was perfect, because a gang of skeletons had heard all my construction work and were making their way towards the base. Oh no, I better take them out before they can ruin anything. I pulled out my stone sword and charged in. Skeletons were no match for even a small dragon, so it didn't take me long to defeat them all. And when they were gone, I noticed that they dropped some potions of regeneration. I added them all to my inventory. It's always good to have some of these on hand for emergencies. From day 106 to day 108, I got a crazy craving for fried eggs, but I couldn't just go to the store to get them. I needed to do it the old-fashioned way. I built a chicken coop and a fenced-off area on my base, perfect for a little free-range chicken farm. Then I started collecting chickens and herding them back to my base. I'll have a steady supply of delicious eggs in no time. I can hardly wait. Still feeling hungry in the short term, I decided to go wandering through the cherry blossom forest again, hoping I'd find something cool to eat. Instead, I found something very different. It was the Dragon Slayer 3000, and his big red eye was fixed on me.
Dragon detected.
Can't we just talk this out?
Initiation Destruction Protocol D4. Dragon Slaying Cyber Battle Axe.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 pulled a huge battle axe, seemingly out of thin air, and he charged for me, swinging the axe again and again, only barely missing me each time.
Resistance is futile. All dragons will be annihilated.
The Dragon Slayer 3000 had really earned its name. I needed to get out of there before it could slay me. I took off and flew away, trying to get as far away from that robotic monster as possible. But back on the ground, the Dragon Slayer 3000 was unfazed.
Tracking flight pattern. Processing estimated arrival location. This dragon will not escape.
From day 109 to day 110, I returned back to my base, still feeling terrified after my close encounter with Dragon Slayer 3000. He'd taken my powers, he'd taken my size and my progress, and he'd almost taken my life. I'm so scared that the next time I run into that evil robot, he'll destroy me for good. Just as I was slipping into anxiety and panic, the Guardian of the Forest came into my room with some encouraging words.
Zozo, I sense you've been feeling down. I understand. The odds are against you, and you've lost a great deal. You may think you're weak, but strength is not about how hard you can strike. It's about how hard you can be struck and keep on fighting. Go outside, and you'll see a statue I've been working on just for you.
That's so kind, Forest Guardian. I'll head out there and take a look now. So I did. I went outside and saw the statue that the Forest Guardian had been working on, and it looked amazing. This is so cool. I can't wait to see what it'll be when it's done. What do you think it'll be when it's done? Just as I was admiring his hard work on the statue, the Forest Guardian came over with some more good news.
That ain't the only thing I've made for you. Go back to the base, and you'll see another upgrade I've been working on. I think it'll come in handy with keeping an eye out for that terrible machine.
I went back to the base and saw that the Forest Guardian had transformed one of the cherry blossom trees into an awesome watchtower. It would be a perfect way to keep an eye on the forest around us and know if the Dragon Slayer 3000 was on his way. I'm starting to feel more powerful again already. I can do this thing. From day 111 to day 112, feeling more confident than before, I went back out into the cherry blossom forest to understand my surroundings better. This time, if I ran into the robot, I wouldn't run away like a scared little coward. I'd stand up for myself and fight like a real dragon. But lucky for me, I didn't run into the Dragon Slayer 3000 at all. Instead, I found my way to a cozy little cabin where a friendly old witch was waiting.
Hello there, dearie. You look a little tired from all your wandering. How about you rest here and talk with me for a little bit?
I'd love that, thank you. I'm Zozo.
So what are you doing out here, sweetheart? You are walking with a real sense of purpose.
As a matter of fact, I do have a purpose. I'm trying to get my dragon strength back so I can defeat the Dragon Slayer 3000.
Oh dear.
What's wrong?
It's just that if you're planning on going up against that metal monstrosity, I recommend you be extremely careful. You have no idea the terrible things it's capable of. There used to be many dragons around here, and not just little baby ones like you. Adult dragons at their full power. And within 100 days, the Dragon Slayer 3000 wiped them all out, one by one. You'll need to be exceptionally powerful if you want to defeat it.
Well, that sure fills me with confidence. From day 113 to day 115, I returned to the coniferous forest, wondering if there was anything valuable I'd missed during my first trip there. You can only imagine my surprise when another big, mean vile ogre jumped out of the woods, right in front of me. Wait, how can you be here? Didn't I defeat you before?
Oh, that was my brother. He was out here, minding his own business, and you started to fight with him.
He was literally trying to shake me down for money in a forest he didn't own. He even hit me first.
That doesn't sound like him at all. For defaming my brother's memory, you're going down, you teeny tiny little dragon.
The vile ogre attacked me. He fought just like his brother, but this time I was prepared. Before he could take too much health from me, I defeated him with my stone sword and leveled up. I got bigger, and my total hearts rose up to 20, and I gained back one of my most important abilities, fire breathing. I'm getting my dragon mojo back, baby. From day 116 to day 119, seeing as I'd upgraded my size and strength, I figured it was time to level up my weapons and equipment too. That's why I found my way to an underground cavern that was perfect for mining myself some extra materials, specifically some iron ore. Once I'd gathered up enough, I started building an underground furnace so I could smelt the ore into ingots and start creating all my new gear. But I was interrupted by another nasty creature living in the underground cavern, a deadly giant cave spider, and he thought I looked like a delicious dragon snack. Well, I hope you like your meals extra spicy, cave spider. I huffed, and I puffed, and I breathed a jet of flame right at the cave spider, scaring it back into the darkness. It definitely wouldn't bother me after that. Then, I used all that iron I collected to make myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I was officially stronger than ever before. And one day, I'm gonna use this sword to destroy the robot that ruined my life. From day 120 to day 122, I spent one day just resting at the base, having no idea that the day after would bring me my toughest battle yet. That day started with the Guardian of the Forest waking me up in a blind panic and telling me the last thing I wanted to hear at that moment.
Zozo, Dragon Slayer 3000, he's here. He's practically outside the gates. We need to stop him before it's too late.
Oh no! I ran as quickly as I could. I hoped that I'd been dreaming for a while until I saw that the Forest Guardian was absolutely right. Dragon Slayer 3000 was standing right next to the base, carrying his battle axe.
Dragon detected. Initiate destruction methods.
Wait, why do you want to destroy us dragons so badly? Is it something we did to you?
What you do to me is irrelevant. My programming dictates that I must destroy all dragons I detect at all costs.
Who programmed you like that anyway?
You do not need to know. Battle axe attack initiated.
Talking time was over. Dragon Slayer 3000 ran at me with his battle axe again, getting 2 strikes in before I was able to hit him back with my sword. And when I did, it didn't seem to cause much damage. I decided with the threat of getting slain right here in front of me, it was time to unleash my latest dragon power, Fire Breath. I breathed my fire at Dragon Slayer 3000, and it almost seemed to short-circuit him for a moment. He backed away, looking confused.
Dragon has access to fire abilities. Activate contingency plan G6. Retreat mode initiated.
And with that, the Dragon Slayer 3000 fled back into the forest and out of sight. I hadn't defeated him fully this time, but somehow, after this fight, I finally understood that this monster wasn't invincible. If I kept getting stronger, I could defeat him once and for all. From day 123 to day 126, I was working on creating a weapon upgrade for my iron sword. After seeing how Dragon Slayer 3000 reacted to me using my fire breathing on him, I thought he might have some kind of weakness to fire. That's why I applied the Fire Aspect enchantment, which would lend extra fire damage to every single swing of my sword. This is really gonna help me out on my quest. And if you'd also like to help me out on my quest, search ZOZO in the search bar to find and watch more adventures with me, Zozo. We're gonna have an awesome time! From day 127 to day 131, the Guardian of the Forest came over to share some less stressful news with me than the last time.
Zozo, I've done more work on the statue. Come check it out.
Of course, I'll be right over. I met with the Guardian outside and saw all of the amazing work he'd been doing on the statue. It looked so cool. The Guardian certainly had a real talent for building statues.
But for this next part, I need your help, Zozo. The statue is coming along nicely, but I need some ebony logs to really take it to the next level. Would you be able to journey out to the ebony forest and get me some?
I'll be there and back before you know it. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but I did travel out to the ebony forest as quickly as I could gather up the material I needed for the forest guardian statue. On the way there, I ran into an Enderman who really didn't like intruders entering his forest, even if they were just dropping in to grab some equipment. You better not tell me I need to pay the Enderman toll. Thankfully, some fire breath was enough to scare the Enderman away, and I was able to gather up plenty of the material the guardian of the forest needed to keep building and improving the statue. From day 132 to day 135, I started making my way back to the ebony forest, eager to give all the materials I'd gathered over to the forest guardian. On the way there, though, things started to get strange. I spotted a flying ghast, which is normally only seen in the nether. What are you doing out here? The ghast obviously didn't reply. They attacked me with their ranged attack, and I replied in kind and flew up towards it and hit it with my fire breath, knocking the ghast out of the sky. It feels so good to be a dragon. As I continued my journey back towards my base, I ran into a worried-looking piglin. I stopped to see if he needed any help. Hey, little piglin, don't be afraid. You look like you need a hand. Anything I can help with?
Oh yes, thank goodness. You've really saved my bacon here. My piglin friend was kidnapped by an evoker, and his zombie minions and dragged out to the Mojave Desert. I'd go on my own, but I worry I'm not strong enough. And then we'd both be captured.
Don't worry, piglin. I'll get right on it. And with my new quest, I set off. From day 136 to day 139, I traveled until I reached the Mojave Desert. It was exhaustingly hot and dry out there, but it didn't take me long to discover a mini base set up deep in the scorching heat of the Mojave. It was a fenced-off area surrounded by patrolling hordes of zombies. Inside the camp, a piglin was locked in a cage, and the evoker stood there, talking to him.
We'll see how much your friend cares about you, little piglin. Maybe if he comes and gives me the money we agreed to, I'll let you both go. Or maybe I'll just kidnap you both.
Please, you can't do that.
You're in my clutches, piglin. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. I'm holding all the cards here.
Watching this happen, I knew I needed to get in there and stop this. I'd free the piglin and defeat that evil evoker, and my dragon powers would help me do it. From day 140 to day 143, I launched my plan to defeat the evoker and save the piglin. Rather than fighting all the zombies gathered outside, I flew and lowered myself down into the camp from above. The evoker didn't seem happy about that.
How dare you invade my camp, you lousy dragon! Zombies, eat 'em alive!
Zombies inside the camp rushed towards me. I pulled out my iron sword to fight them off, but there seemed to be no end to the zombie horde. This sword isn't powerful enough to take them all, even with the fire aspect. But in the nick of time, I got lucky. I saw a Kyther lying on the ground, exactly what I needed. Don't mind if I do. I grabbed the Kyther, going crazy and taking out every zombie I could. Soon enough, there were no zombies left. It was just me, the evoker, and the trapped piglin. The evoker backed away, feeling a little nervous.
No hard feelings about me telling the zombies to eat you alive, right? That was just a prank, bro.
Instead of answering his question, I blasted him with a jet of flame. After that, I freed the piglin.
Thank you so much, kind stranger. How can I ever repay you?
Go back to your friend in the ebony forest. He's been worried about you. That's the only repayment I need. From day 144 to day 149, I returned back to my base and gave the guardian of the forest all the materials I'd collected for him in the ebony forest.
Thank you for these, Zozo. It took you a while to get them. Was everything okay?
Oh yeah, it was fine. Just got a little sidetracked. I'm gonna get working on some base improvements while you work on the statue.
Sounds good to me, Zozo.
I decided to work on a security perimeter wall around the base while the guardian of the forest was statue building. I built the wall nice and tall just to make sure it kept out potential invaders. Once I finished the construction and stood back to take in the sight of my big, powerful wall, the guardian of the forest approached me again with the good news.
Come take a look at the statue, Zozo. It's almost done.
So I did exactly what he said. I went to take a look at the statue and was amazed at what I saw. The forest guardian was clearly a statue building whiz. Can you tell what it is yet? Let me know down in the comments. From day 150 to day 153, I woke up to some more bad news. The Dragon Slayer 3000 was once again waiting right outside my base, and the Guardian of the Forest was following along. Oh no, he's kidnapped my friend! But I couldn't just chase after them, because at the exact same time, a group of husks that the evil machine must have led here were attacking my base. My anger at that monstrous robot kidnapping my friend let me fight even harder. And during my battle with the gang of husks, I got enough XP to level up and become even stronger. I got bigger. My total hearts increased up to 50. I used my newfound strength to take out the last of the husks. My base was safe, but the Guardian of the Forest was still gone, and I needed to save him. From day 154 to day 157, I checked around my base to make sure there weren't any holes in the walls besides the entryways. You have to keep a keen eye to make sure your walls are as sturdy as they can be. After my base was secured, I went to go meet my other ally in the Cherry Blossom Forest, the witch in her cozy cabin, to get her advice on what to do next. I sat across from her and told her about the situation.
Since you first came to me, Zozo, I've been doing some research, and I think I might have information that could help you. A few hundred years ago, there were some extremely dangerous dragons on the prowl. Some scientist working in the lush tundra created robots like the Dragon Slayer 3000. But even once those few dangerous dragons were destroyed, the machines endured. I've just never seen one this advanced before. Still, if you want to save the Guardian of the Forest, checking the lush tundra may be your best option. Just be careful out there.
From day 158 to day 162, knowing that my best friend was trapped in the territory of my most dangerous enemy, I needed to get better weaponry. That's why I once again returned to the underground cavern where I did my previous mining. And as usual, I had another guest while I was down there. What I wasn't expecting was for that guest to be a creeper. I panicked as it skittered towards me, ready to explode. It was terrifying, but I managed to get away just in time. Boom! The creeper exploded. If the Dragon Slayer 3000 doesn't get me, the stress of these 100 days is gonna be what finishes me off. At first, I thought this was just another one of my many near-death experiences, but these lemons came with a free side of lemonade. In the crater left by the creeper exploding, there were a bunch of diamonds. It looks like my luck is finally turning around today. I gathered up all the diamonds and forged them into a powerful diamond sword, a perfect weapon for taking on that diabolical droid. Now all I needed was the courage to actually go and do it, knowing how scary and dangerous the Dragon Slayer 3000 truly was. From day 163 to day 166, I returned back to my base with my new diamond sword, feeling frightened and worried about what I needed to do, even though my friend's life was at stake. To make myself feel a little better, I gave my diamond sword the fire aspect enchantment, just like with my old iron sword. That would make it a more effective weapon against Dragon Slayer 3000, but I was still afraid. I stood and looked at the statue that the Guardian of the Forest had created for me. It wasn't done yet, and if I didn't save the Forest Guardian, it would never be finished. It would be an eternal reminder that I'd let my friend down. I won't let you down, Forest Guardian. I'm gonna come and save you from that evil machine, no matter the risk. I'm going to the lush tundra, and I'm gonna help you. And if you want to help me, you can subscribe to Zozo and turn on notifications so you never miss another one of my exciting Minecraft adventures. From day 167 to day 170, I put my money where my mouth was and traveled all the way to the lush tundra. I searched around until I discovered what looked like an abandoned factory. This must be where Dragon Slayer 3000 was created. He probably turned it into his base when all the scientists left. If the Forest Guardian is gonna be anywhere, it's here. I ran into the building and immediately found that more hordes of husks had made their home here, just like the ones that he'd led to attack my base. I must have been getting closer. Come at me, husks. You don't stand a chance. The husks did come at me in whole swarms. With my diamond sword, I was able to cut down a lot of them, and I defeated even more with my fiery breath. There was no way I was letting any of those low-level mobs stop me from saving my friend. It wasn't long before I was standing in an empty room, having defeated all of the husks. I kept searching the building, trying to find where they might be keeping my friend. Forest Guardian, it's me, Zozo. I've come here to help you. That's when I heard a voice at the other end of a deep, dark hallway that went into the ground.
Zozo! Oh, thank goodness! I'm down here! Please, come save me!
I ran down the long hall and saw the room where the Guardian of the Forest was trapped. I didn't waste any time and busted down the bars that were holding him. I'm so glad you're safe, Forest Guardian. I don't even know why he kidnapped you. You're not even a dragon.
He's an incredibly intelligent machine, Zozo. I think he kidnapped me just because he knew that you'd come and save me. Let's go back to the base before he realizes you're in here.
No, Forest Guardian, I'm sorry. I want you to go back to the base, but I'm through with running. Keep the base safe for me. I'll come back once I've defeated this robot, once and for all.
Just be careful, Zozo. I have a feeling he's got at least one more trick up his silver sleeve.
With that, the Guardian of the Forest turned and left, and I started going deeper into the Dragon Slayer's base. From day 171 to day 174, I went deeper into the abandoned factory. While in there, I found a dusty old chest locked away in a corner. It contained two things. One was a potion of strength, and the other was a book marked Scientist Notes. I looked through the book, and it contained the following. We witnessed an extraordinary event in the factory today. Our Dragon Slayer 2000 models seem to have gained true intelligence. In fact, they used this intelligence to construct an entirely new machine, the Dragon Slayer 3000. It's the first machine to be planned and built entirely by other machines. Whoa, that explains why this thing is so cold and cruel. The sooner I can put this rogue robot down, the better. From day 175 to day 178, now knowing of his true origin, I went far enough into the factory to discover Dragon Slayer 3000 waiting for me.
Dragon detected. Prepare for your immediate annihilation.
Funny, I was about to say the exact same thing to you. I didn't want to waste any more time talking to this evil machine. Instead, I ran in and pulled out my diamond sword. I hit the robot again and again and again, not even giving him a chance to fight back. I wanted to end it there and then. But before I could deliver the final blow, Dragon Slayer 3000 stepped away and ran into a nearby room. I went running after him as fast as I could. I'm not gonna let you get away with this anymore, Dragon Slayer. Your days of hunting us dragons are over. From day 179 to day 184, I entered the main chamber of the factory. It was large and completely abandoned, but I still saw the glowing red eye of the Dragon Slayer 3000 staring at me. But this time, I wasn't going to let him go. I defeated him and sent him running before. Now it was time to finish him off. Time for the Dragon Slayer 3000 to get slayed by a dragon. I've got to say, Dragon Slayer, I enjoy the irony.
I wasn't programmed to have any sense of irony. It is of no use to me.
The point is, I'm going to destroy you for everything you've done to me and dragons like me. There's no place in the world for a machine like you.
Then I will have to upgrade. Activate Contingency Plan Z13, Metamorphosis Protocol.
What? Dragon Slayer 3000 began to transform, getting bigger, scarier, and way more advanced. I'd never seen anything like it. All my confidence in the fight completely drained away in that moment.
Upgrade complete. I am now Dragon Slayer 4000, the ultimate stage of my technological evolution. My capabilities have increased, and I can now destroy even the strongest dragons. You cannot harm me, Zozo.
Oh no, I think I may have overestimated my ability here.
Destruction Blast.
The new Dragon Slayer 4000 blasted an even more powerful energy weapon. I was able to dodge it in the nick of time and ran out of there as fast as I could. I need to figure something out fast or I'm doomed. From day 185 to day 189, I returned to my base in a blind panic. I immediately went up to the Guardian of the Forest.
Hello again, Zozo. Thank you again for saving me. Ready to celebrate finally defeating Dragon Slayer 3000?
Not quite. Kind of the opposite, actually. Dragon Slayer 3000 got even more powerful. He upgraded into Dragon Slayer 4000. And I don't know how I'm gonna defeat him like that.
Oh no, that's the last thing we wanted to happen. Here, take this knockback enchantment. It'll make your attacks a little more effective. I believe someone is here to see you. In the meantime, I'm gonna go finish up the statue.
Who's come to visit me? It turned out that it was none other than the witch, coming straight to my base to deliver some valuable news.
Zozo, I have something that I think you'll want to hear.
Please tell me it's good news.
Oh yes, very good news. I've tracked down something that can fast-track your leveling up. A special potion known as Dragon Serum. It will help you grow into a full-sized dragon with all the relevant special abilities. They say it ran out years ago, but I've tracked down one more bottle of it in a single chest.
That's amazing! Do you know where I can find this chest?
It's in a place you may find familiar, the Mojave Desert.
That's perfect! I'll set off right away. Stay at my base in the meantime, Miss Witch, just to be safe. But before I could leave, I heard the Guardian of the Forest calling out for me.
Before you go, Zozo, I have something to show you. The statue is finally finished.
Excited to see what the Guardian of the Forest had created, I flew up high towards the mountains next to my base to get a better view. It was amazing! A beautiful statue of a powerful adult Warden dragon. It looked exactly like I did before the Dragon Slayer stole all of my power. Thank you, Forest Guardian. This is truly awesome. And when I get my hands on that Dragon Serum, that's gonna be me again. On day 190 to day 194, I returned once again to the Mojave Desert, where I'd defeated the Evoker and his minions and saved the piglin. If only last time I'd been looking for that chest, this whole thing might have been over a lot sooner. I searched all across the desert, feeling the intense heat on my dragon scales. Whoever had hidden that serum up here must have really wanted to keep it hidden. Eventually, I found a small chest hidden amongst a bunch of sand blocks. I opened up the chest, and inside was one item, a potion labeled Dragon Serum. Yes, I found it! I finally found it! I can become a full-size dragon, access my complete powers, and use them to even the score against Dragon Slayer 4000! With the Dragon Serum saved in my inventory, I turned and made my way back to my base. From day 195 to day 197, I worked on my final few upgrades, knowing that the battle that would decide the fate of all the dragons in the overworld would soon come to pass. And if I didn't win, Dragon Slayer 4000 might not just wipe out me, he might have wiped out my entire species. I better go in strong then. I gave my sword the Sweeping Edge enchantment to increase its power, and also crafted a full set of iron armor. This would give me a better chance in the final fight. But what if the Dragon Slayer 4000 defeats me, then immediately comes back here to attack my friends? I can't let that happen, or at the very least, I can't make it easy for him. I decided that I wasn't going to, so I built the wall around my base thicker, knowing that I'd buy the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch some time to escape if that evil robot did come looking for them. It's all or nothing now! On day 198, I prepared to leave my base and go to the lush tundra so I could take on and decommission this rogue robot once and for all. But what do you want to see next from Zozo? Search ZOZO on the search bar and leave a comment on one of our videos telling us what you'd like to see next. I always love reading through them. Oh, and wish me luck on my battle with Dragon Slayer 4000. I'm gonna need it. Time to settle that age-old debate of robot versus dragon. On day 199, I returned to the abandoned factory in the lush tundra. When I entered the main chamber of the building yet again, the Dragon Slayer 4000 was waiting for me.
Dragon detected.
Yeah, you detected me. Well done. I'm about to get a whole lot easier to detect in a second.
Attempts to intimidate me are futile, Zozo. I will be the agent of your destruction. Activate Battle Axe. Turn shields to 100%. Prepare to be destroyed.
Time for you to take your own advice, you evil bucket of bolts! Before Dragon Slayer 4000 even had a chance to attack me, I drank the Dragon Serum. In an instant, everything changed. I became a huge, powerful Warden Dragon adult with the 100 hearts I had 100 days ago. But that wasn't all. I had a new power now, the Fireball attack.
Dragon detected. Dragon detected. This does not compute.
Compute this! Summoning up every last ounce of my strength, I fired a fire blast directly at the Dragon Slayer 4000!
No!
The blast was so powerful, he was destroyed instantly! I'd reclaimed my former glory, and the dragon-hating machine was finally gone for good! On day 200, with the evil of the Dragon Slayer 4000 finally defeated, and all my fallen dragon friends avenged, I returned back to my base. There, the Guardian of the Forest and the Witch were already waiting to congratulate me. For the first time in over 100 days, I felt like my old dragon self again, and I could finally relax. Don't you just love a happy ending? On day 1, I rose out of the ground as a baby Warden SKIBIDI toilet. Whoa, this is one of the weirdest creatures I've ever been. Still, 6 hearts. I better play it safe. Suddenly, a gorilla came rumbling towards me across the plains.
Invader! Invader! You're not meant to be here!
That didn't sound like a welcome wagon, so I turned my porcelain tail and ran off at massive speeds. That just rang the alarm bell though. More gorillas came charging in, forming a dangerous chase party. I climbed further up the plateau, managing to lose the gorillas. But the chase exhausted me. I really spawned into the wrong area here. What's going on out here? I feel like there's something I'm forgetting, but I can't remember what I forgot. Boom! The ground next to me exploded, and an even bigger, stronger gorilla crawled out of the hole.
Freeze right there! You move one step and I'll destroy you. Wanna live? Follow me, or else.
On day 2, the big gorilla led me across the plateau. Whatever you think I didn't do it, I swear. I'm a completely innocent Warden SKIBIDI toilet.
Look, kid, I don't trust wardens, and I don't trust whatever a SKIBIDI toilet is. Want this to go smoothly? All you've got to do is literally everything I say.
Well, I guess that's a pretty compelling argument. He took me to some kind of outpost near the top of the plateau, leading me through the complex. They eventually threw me into a dark, dingy cell in the back.
You better behave, toilet boy, or you're gonna get yourself flushed.
Lucky for me, I wasn't alone in the cell. There was a squat little mungus waiting in there for me. Hey, Mungus, I'm Zozo. What are you in here for?
Somebody accused me of being an imposter, even though I'm not. It's a unique form of discrimination that we munguses have to deal with.
Oh, that's horrible. A similar thing happened to me. I don't even really know why I'm here.
You're certainly not gonna find your memories here in some goofy gorilla prison. We've gotta get out of here. Do SKIBIDI toilets have any special powers?
I don't know, but wardens sure do. That's when I remembered how to warden treat and use it to bust down the wall of our cell. Mungus and I escaped, running off in different directions into the night. Now I can start working on getting my memories back and finding out why I'm really here. On day 3, I continued wandering through the plateau, trying my best to avoid any angry gorillas who wouldn't be happy that I'd escaped. In the epic battle of gorilla versus toilet, I personally wouldn't bet on the toilet. But rather than a gorilla, I instead encountered some cows, which made me realize I'm soon gonna get hungry. Using my high-precision warden shrieks, I blasted one of the cows, then swooped in to take my fill of the delicious beef. Okay, that's something I know about myself now. I enjoy tasty meat, just have to cook it first. I heard a rattling behind me and turned. There was a gang of skeletons coming towards me. Oh no, skeletons don't have any meat on them at all. I'm doomed. With my warden shriek still recharging, I was defenseless and outnumbered. But before the skeletons could get me, a huge lightning bolt came down and destroyed them all. Oh my gosh, what just happened? That's when I turned and saw him. The glorious sight of a tall man with a TV set for a head. He'd fired the lightning bolt and saved my life.
Come with me if you want to not die.
From day 4 to day 5, I followed the TV man into the Shattered Glaciers, a freezing and treacherous biome. Man, anyone who lives here must be one tough cookie. I can feel my bones rattling inside my toilet. We arrived at an equally cool pad where the TV man must have lived. It was easily one of the hippest homes I'd ever seen. Thank you again for saving my life, TV man. I'm Zozo. What can I possibly do to repay you?
The name's Ray, Cathode Ray. And it's no biggie. I save people all the time. I'm a hero. It's kind of my thing.
That's awesome, Ray. Could I be a hero just like you? I don't know what exactly I am, so maybe a hero would be a cool thing to become.
I've got it pretty covered, little toilet. But maybe, with some training, you could have some potential.
Training, yes! I could move in with you and—
With me? No. Little fella, Cathode Ray rolls alone. Here. Take these and go make yourself a place. We'll talk in a couple days.
Cathode Ray, the TV man, gave me my first set of stone tools and a stone sword. I left his base and ventured further up the treacherous Shattered Glaciers. When I found some solid ground on top of a mountain, I was curious to find warped trees here as well. This must be a sign. They look blue just like me. This is it. This is the location for my base. I mined enough material to start building myself a pretty basic house with 1 bedroom and a furnace so I could finally cook these steaks. Nothing is better than a warm piece of steak. This place isn't much, but it's mine.
Not for long, you stinky toilet!
I turned and saw that one of the gorilla guards had somehow followed me here. He wasn't interested in conversation. He wanted to fight, and I needed to defend myself. When he ran in, I blasted him with my Warden shriek, then finished him off with my stone sword skills. That gave me enough XP to level up, becoming a bigger, more combat-effective Warden toilet with 14 hearts and an inbuilt fireball cannon. Oh yeah! Now I'm looking fire! From day 6 to day 8, I was heading back to tell Cathode Ray about the new power I'd gained, but in the process, I ran into my old prison buddy, Mungus. Hey, Mungus, how have things been swinging for you? I didn't expect to see you out here.
Been better, man. Everywhere I go, people keep thinking I'm an imposter. It's really starting to affect my self-esteem.
That's terrible, Mungus. I wonder why people around here are so distrusting. I continued on to Cathode Ray and asked him the same question.
It doesn't surprise me to hear that, Zozo. You know, there are a lot of folks out here who really can't be trusted. It's why my work as a hero is so incredibly valuable.
How can I start doing valuable hero work, Ray? I can shoot fireballs now, and I want to prove myself.
If you go to the Stony Peaks, you'll find a deadly yak who's been causing a lot of trouble for the locals. Who may be perfectly suited to this job. Send a Warden toilet to defeat a Warden toilet, I always say.
Of course, Ray. Thank you for this opportunity. I won't let you down. With my new mission, I set off across the glaciers towards the Stony Peaks. From day 9 to day 10, I first made my way out to the Stony Peaks. It was a terrain so harsh and unforgiving, it made the shattered glaciers seem downright cozy. I was constantly paranoid that with one wrong move, I'd fall over and get injured, or worse. But after carefully navigating the difficult slopes of the Stony Peaks, I saw the monstrous yak in the distance. I drew my sword and carefully approached. Time for a surprise attack. I shot a fireball at the vicious yak. It turned, ready to attack.
Traitor! Perish for your treachery!
I fought the creature with my sword, but it was really strong, knocking a bunch of hearts off of me. In the end, I shot another fireball at the monster, and it blew him off the edge of the cliff. He was gone, but it left me badly injured in the process. Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna make it out of here. But a friend of mine was about to come in clutch. That's right, Mungus had found me.
Zozo, I heard someone was in trouble. I never knew it'd be you. Yeah, take this healing potion and some steaks. You look like you need it.
I truly did. I took the potion and was healed. Thank you, Mungus. I really appreciate that. What are you doing out here?
Something's going on, Zozo, something big. Wanna come with me to help look into it all?
I would, but first, I need to go tell my mentor about my victory here today. I'm on the up and up. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Cathode Ray, excited to tell him about my victory against the diabolical Warden Toilet Spider.
Well done, little toilet dude. You've proven that you've got the makings of a hero in you.
Thank you, Ray. It's an honor to hear that from you.
For your next step on the road to heroism, I have another challenge for you. Even deeper in the dark shadows of the Stony Peaks, I need you to find and destroy the Hell Rat. It's every bit as frightening as the name suggests.
Sheesh, that sounds pretty scary.
That it is, my friend. That it is. I recommend you upgrade your armor and weaponry. Good heroes don't take chances.
Good advice, Ray. I scoured the shattered glacier until I found a deep mining cavern. I searched inside, getting deeper and deeper into the dark until I found a dusty old crate. Inside was exactly what I needed. Some pieces of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. The miners must have left this behind when the place was abandoned. I didn't get to keep my new gear pristine for long because soon enough, the mine was crawling with gorilla guards.
You never should have come here.
But I wasn't as weak as I used to be. I held my own against the gorillas until they were forced to retreat. Nobody defeats a hero. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the Stony Peaks with my new iron weapons and armor plating, ready to take on the terrifying Hell Rat. I searched high and low for the Hell Rat's nest, terrified that at any moment it might pop out and destroy me, just like Cathode Ray had told me. But when I eventually found a cute little hut, and inside, I was astonished to find the Hell Rat. But it didn't seem threatening or scary at all. It seems like a pretty innocent, if slightly strange-looking, rat. Hey, you don't seem particularly hellish. Why do they call you the Hell Rat?
Oh, it's because I come from Hell, the unincorporated community in Livingston County, Michigan.
Oh, I suppose that does answer a lot, but not why Cathode Ray sent me here. Sorry for bothering you, Mr. Rat. I could smell a rat, and it wasn't the hell rat. I needed to make my way back to the Shattered Glaciers with no time to waste. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to the cold, lonely world of the Shattered Glacier. Cathode Ray has some serious questions to answer. Sending me to hassle innocent rats from Michigan doesn't seem like something a hero would do. But when I arrived at Ray's pad, it was empty, not a soul in sight. Until I heard footsteps behind me. I panicked and turned around, only to see Mungus standing right behind me. Mungus, what are you doing here?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. I've been tracking the imposter who's been causing trouble across the server, and whom everyone keeps blaming me for. All signs point to here.
Here? That's impossible, but oh no, the hell rat! He's in danger! Before Mungus could ask any follow-up questions, I hightailed it out of the Shattered Glacier and made my way back to the Stony Peaks. When I arrived, I searched desperately for the place where I'd found the hell rat, but by the time I did, it was too late. Just Cathode Ray standing in an empty crater. Ray, what have you done?
What you were too weak to do, apparently. You can't even stomp some silly rat.
Why would I want to? He was innocent.
Innocent is just a point of view. Who's innocent, really? I'm sure he did something at some point that made him deserve getting vaporized by me.
If that's how you think, then you're not a hero at all.
I am a hero, Zozo, and if you're against me, that can only mean you're a villain. Let me show you what I do to villains.
Cathode Ray summoned up a huge lightning bolt, and before I could do anything, he fired it at me, and everything went black. From day 20 to day 22, I finally woke up, my damaged toilet body lying among the broken stone of the peaks around me. Somehow, I'd survived. Why didn't Cathode Ray completely destroy me?
Because I stopped them.
I turned and saw my old prison friend, Mungus, walking towards me.
What? You're the first person who believed in me. You think I'd let that TV-headed creep destroy you? No way.
I can't believe he used me like that. I thought he was a hero. I thought I was a hero.
You still can be, Zozo. Let's go back to your base. Together, I think we can defeat this guy and show the world who he really is.
You're right, Mungus. It's the only way. We went back to my base, and we tore down the old base so we had enough space for the new build. I mined up enough raw materials to construct a new building with a room for Mungus to stay in, complete with a bed and couch. You can't really tell what this place will be, so make sure to watch a bit longer to find out as I will finish the base. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the Savannah Plateau, wanting to see everything with a fresh perspective. Everything with Cathode Ray has got me reconsidering my whole life. But I didn't have time to brood. I saw an undead ostrich getting chased around by a terrifying dark manicore. This looks like a situation where I can prove myself as a real hero. I stormed in, blasting fireballs and warning shrieks at the dark manicore while the undead ostrich was out of the picture. It didn't take long for the manicore to relent, and I finished it off with my iron sword. Afterwards, the undead ostrich came out of hiding and approached me.
You saved my life! That was so heroic!
Thank you. I'm trying my best, despite not having a great teacher.
Your best saved me! So in exchange, here, take some of my power and ascend to greater heights!
The ostrich fired an energy blast at me, and I felt myself getting bigger and stronger. Soon enough, I had 26 hearts and a new ability, Smash! I tested it out, smashing a huge crazy crater into the ground. Okay, this will be useful later. From day 27 to day 31, while heading back across the Savannah Plateau towards the Shattered Glacier, I encountered a group of chickens. Even a Warden SKIBIDI toilet enjoys some nice fried chicken. I lured the chickens back into the Shattered Glacier and decided I needed to build a pen for them. Before I could do that, I decided to finish up the rest of the base so I can put them in just the right spot. I poured my heart and soul into it. I just hope no one flushes it down. Can't deny the resemblance is uncanny. If you think it looks good, make sure to subscribe so you can see my other amazing builds. As I was taking in the views, the Mungus approached me.
Great work, Zozo. Some chicken is exactly what we need. Also, speaking of food, I took the liberty of making us a pantry. We can store excess chicken there.
I looked and saw the well-stocked pantry and fully equipped kitchen that Mungus had created. Good job to you too, Mungus. This base is coming along nicely now. Meanwhile, back in Cathode Ray's icy chill pad of evil, he was consulting with his most powerful henchman, the Speakerhead.
So you see, Speakerhead, this Zozo needs to be destroyed for the greater good. We can't have a good world with that SKIBIDI Warden menace in it.
Of course, Mr. Ray. Everybody wants to rule the world, but you're the only one who I trust to see it through.
Then go out there and do what needs to be done. He's the only thing standing in the way of our plans.
From day 32 to day 35, I returned once again to the Savannah Plateau. More specifically, I returned to the gorilla base where I'd first been imprisoned. If I thought these guys were evil while I thought cathode ray was good, then maybe I had the wrong idea all along. When I arrived at the gorilla base, the huge gorilla who'd first captured me appeared to stand guard.
You've got some nerve coming back here, Toilet. After everything you've done, I ought to destroy you right now.
Wait, I was misled, and I think you were misled too. I'm on your side. Let me speak to the boss gorilla.
The boss gorilla isn't actually a gorilla. Come with me. If you try anything funny, I'll hammer you into the ground like a tent peg.
The big gorilla directed me inside. I followed his instructions down the hallway until I saw the strangest thing, a floating redstone cube. My goodness, who are you?
Me? I am the Cube of Wisdom, the source of all good and righteous knowledge. And if you had spoken to me earlier, I could have told you that Cathode Ray, the TV man, was nothing but a sham.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know that now. He's a villain who believes he's a hero, but I want to be a real hero. Together, between me, my friend Mungus, and you and your gorilla forces, we can take down this monster.
That's the wisest thing you've said all day, Zozo.
From day 36 to day 39, knowing the danger of the threats against me, I searched the shattered glacier yet again until I found another abandoned cave. I searched deep within until I found some more abandoned pieces of iron armor, which I quickly equipped. Using my smash power to bust through the stone further, I found a small vein of diamonds, which I mined with my iron pickaxe. Not enough to make anything yet, but these will come in real handy when I find more of them. I returned to my base with my spoils, where Mungus was waiting for me with good news.
Zozo, I crafted some weapons for you while you were gone. Javelins. They should be super effective.
Oh, that's awesome, Mungus. This will make me an even more formidable opponent at long range. I left the edge of my base to practice my throwing skills with my new selection of javelins, when suddenly a gibbon approached.
Be not afraid.
Don't worry, I wasn't.
Okay, let's see, what was the message? I'm an envoy from the Primate Kingdom. My master, the Cube, wishes to speak to you at a secure location in the Twilight Valley. You must journey there at once.
It sounded like there was no time to delay. I turned tail and made my way in the direction of the Twilight Valley. From day 40 to day 43, I arrived in the spooky and mysterious Twilight Valley. Following the instructions given to me by the Gibbon, I found a small shack where the redstone cube of wisdom was waiting for me. What's up, Mr. Cube? Why so cloak and dagger? Is everything okay?
There's an urgent matter that must be attended to, Zozo. My spies in Cathode Ray's inner circle tell me that he's dispatched one of his most dangerous agents. Speak ahead.
What's so dangerous about him?
He's a highly skilled and lethal warrior. He's absolutely loyal to Cathode Ray and his cause, and he absolutely hates SKIBIDI toilets. I must leave now, Zozo, but stay safe. You are in grave danger.
The redstone cube teleported away, leaving me alone in the Twilight Valley. Or so I thought. The shack exploded, and the speaker head was standing there, wielding a huge sword.
There you are. Time to meet your doom, Toilet. All for freedom and for pleasure.
Without delay, I started firing my Warden shrieks and fireballs at him, but there was no effect. He ran at me with his sword and devastated me with one strike. All I could do was turn and run for my life.
I'll get you, Zozo. Nothing ever lasts forever.
From day 44 to day 49, I was resting and recovering at my base from my encounter with Speakerhead. I was lucky to get out of there alive. Speakerhead wasn't planning on taking prisoners. He was every bit as terrifying as the redstone cube suggested, so it made sense that the redstone cube would appear next to me in my time of need. You weren't kidding, Cube. That Speakerhead guy is a real demon.
Be that as it may, I believe I have a solution for you, Zozo. A weapon that may be capable of destroying that diabolical false hero once and for all.
I'm all ears.
A blowgun, an ancient tribal weapon wielded by a great warrior. It's said to have special powers when used by a true hero in the name of justice.
Sounds perfect. Where can I get it?
I'm not sure yet. You will need to seek out the information. Return to the Stony Peaks and seek out other wise creatures. They will give you the knowledge that you seek.
From day 50 to day 53, I had fully recovered from the stress of my battle with Speakerhead. I ventured out into the stony peaks, wanting to find the wise creatures that the redstone cube had spoken of. I'm lucky I don't have any legs, or they'd be getting really tired right about now. When I'd reached the highest peaks of the stony, peaks, I found a wise old spider pig waiting for me.
Welcome, my son. I am the great spider pig who sits at the center of the cosmic web of knowledge. I can answer but one question of every person. What is your question, Warden Toilet?
I seek the power to defeat evil. Where can I find the legendary ancient blowgun?
It will not be easy, my boy. The blowgun lies in the Chamber of Destiny, deep inside the Cynthian Torrids. It is guarded by a terrible beast. You will need to be incredibly strong to fight it.
A terrible beast. Great. For a second there, I was worried this whole thing would be too easy. From day 54 to day 57, I returned to the Savannah Plateau, hoping to share everything I'd learned with the Redstone Cube. But on the way, I was intercepted by a familiar and terrifying foe, Speakerhead.
Well, if it isn't my least favorite Warden Toilet, Zozo.
Speakerhead, what are you doing here?
I've been listening to you all the way since the spider pig. My master wants me to collect intelligence on you and everything you're doing. But I won't even need that information if I destroy you right here.
I threw some javelins at him and tried to hit him with my fireballs, but he was too strong.
My turn.
He pulled out a destroyer and with one whack, blasted a huge crater in the earth. I was lucky to have escaped with my life. Meanwhile, back at his base in the Shattered Glacier, Cathode Ray was receiving the information that Speakerhead had stolen.
The Scythian Torrids. Interesting. Then it means the blowgun must be guarded by the High Reaver. Perhaps I'll let Zozo deal with that one. He could always use the practice.
From day 58 to day 62, I was at my base, having at least survived a second encounter with the Speakerhead. I need some kind of advantage. I can't afford to let him get the jump on me again. I might not be so lucky. I was pulled out of my pessimistic thoughts by Mungus, who strolled over to me with obvious excitement.
Zozo, I've been working hard building things while you were gone. I added in a little yard, a bathroom, and a new crafting area, complete with a furnace.
Oh, that's genius, Mungus. Just the thing I needed. If I want some new gear, I'm gonna need to forge it myself. With this in mind, I went back to the same mining cavern I'd visited before and dug even deeper into the darkness, using my smash power to go deeper a lot faster than I would with just a pickaxe. Eventually, I found an even richer vein of diamonds and harvested as many as I possibly could. Then, I took them back to the base and put Mungus's crafting room to good use. I forged myself a diamond sword, a diamond pickaxe, and a few pieces of diamond armor. Now I'm a force to be reckoned with! From day 63 to day 66, I heard a great crackling outside my base, like something of immense power had arrived. I walked outside the base and saw the Redstone Cube of Wisdom waiting for me on my decorative toilet.
Zozo, it is time. We must travel together to the edge of the Shattered Glacier. There we can find the portal to the Scythian Torrids, where the sacred blowgun awaits the arrival of its prophesied user. That, Zozo, is you.
Then we have no time to waste. Lead the way! I followed the floating cube across the Shattered Glacier until eventually we reached the impressive-looking portal stand.
Something is wrong, Zozo. The portal, it isn't active.
Then what do we do?
Keep searching. There must be some kind of key. Someone out there has it. We just need you to get our hands on it. Well, we don't have hands, but you get the idea.
From day 67 to day 70, while waiting and planning my next steps on the toilet, I was visited by someone I hadn't had the best relationship with, the big gorilla.
Zozo, you know I wouldn't come to you if I wasn't desperate, but some unknown force has been fighting my men in the Twilight Valley while we try to search for the key to the Cynthian Torrids.
And I'm guessing you want me to come in there and fight it?
Yeah, pretty much. But you better not gloat about it.
Cause I'm a nice guy, I didn't gloat. Just flushed the toilet and made a beeline for the Twilight Valley, where I saw what had been giving the gorilla so much trouble. A cosmically powerful Shiba Inu.
Be gone, intruder! You will never get your hands on the key! Leave my valley!
Wait, listen to me!
If you use this key for evil, I will—
Listen! I'm not here to do evil. I'm here to stop it. You said something about a key? Is it the key to the Scythian Torrids?
Yes, the very same.
I seek the blow blowgun from the Chamber of Destiny.
For what purpose do you seek it?
I wish to obtain the blowgun and use it to defeat the evil known as cathode ray.
That is a noble goal. The key is yours. If you misuse it, I'll destroy you myself.
Shiba Inu disappeared, leaving behind a magical-looking key, which I immediately picked up. I'm one more step closer to completing my quest. From day 71 to day 74, I was returning to my base, excited to tell Mungus about the key. But I had bigger things on my mind. Speakerhead was back, and he was destroying my base.
You're too late, Zozo. I know everything. You can't stop us now.
I can tell you're a speakerhead even from a distance, because you're such an annoying loudmouth.
Don't get mad, Zozo. Get even. If you're brave enough, I'll be waiting near Ray's pad. Come and get some, loser.
Speakerhead laughed and disappeared. Then, Mungus came out of hiding to speak to me. How did he cause us much damage, Mungus?
He used his destroyer, an incredibly powerful weapon.
Darn, that man is such a thorn in my side.
It doesn't need to be all bad, Zozo. Maybe if you go and destroy Speakerhead, you'll get his destroyer. Then you can use it in the Scythian turrets to get the blowgun.
That's a great idea, Mungus. But are you sure you'll be okay here alone?
I can handle myself, Zozo. I'll rebuild the base while you're gone.
Then it looks like we've got a plan. Little did I know, all of this was part of Cathode Ray's grand plan.
Once he's dispatched dear Speakerhead, he'll be strong enough to enter the Scythian turrets. Then, the blowgun will be mine, and nothing will be able to stop me.
From day 75 to day 78, I was preparing for the battle with Speakerhead when the Redstone Cube of Wisdom came to impart some of his trademark wisdom.
Fight hard out there, Zozo. We're all counting on you.
Thanks, Redstone Cube. Is that it? And then he left. From day 79 to day 84, I wasted no time in charging to the dark depths of the Shattered Glacier. Speakerhead, you will face me in single combat. That was clearly enough to summon him, because Speakerhead immediately appeared. It was almost too perfect.
Ready to be destroyed, Zozo? Well, clearly you are, since you're here.
Please stop talking. I'd rather just fight. I charged at Speakerhead, wielding my diamond sword. Even with the aid of my powers, I was so hopelessly outmatched.
Face it, Zozo, you're doomed. You can't beat me.
That's when I suddenly felt a surge of energy coming up from the key the Shiba Inu gave me. The power to fight against evil. I evolved into a Warden Spider SKIBIDI toilet. I was bigger, stronger, and suddenly had 100 hearts and the ability to shoot lasers. Speakerhead was so shocked.
What? No, you can't do that.
Seems like I can. Bye-bye, Speakerhead. With a supercharged blast of my laser attack, Speakerhead was destroyed once and for all. In his place was the destroyer, which I picked up immediately. Just you and me now, Ray. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the base with the destroyer and the key. And with 100 hearts, I was finally ready to go to the Scythian turrets. I'm ready to do this, Mungus.
So glad, Zozo. And look, I repaired the base.
I turned and saw that Mungus was true to his words. The base had been rebuilt. Everything was coming up roses. The one thing left to do is go claim the blowgun. Then we can defeat Cathode Ray and end all this horror. My heart filled with determination, I made my way towards the portal standing deep in the Shattered Glaciers and used my key to open it. Scythian Torrids, here I come! I immediately felt the dark, dry heat of the Torrids on the other side. It was a sinister place, filled with molten lava and strange unknown creatures. After hours of wandering, I found a large, distinct structure that must have been the Chamber of Destiny. There's the chamber. Let's go see the beast. I walked into the chamber, which was deceptively quiet at first, until a huge, terrifying High Reaver leaped out. Oh, there's the beast! It took everything to be able to defeat the High Reaver. The blade of my diamond sword, my fireballs, my javelins, my laser eyes, and of course, the destroyer. It was a hard battle, and I lost plenty of hearts. But in the end, the High Reaver was defeated, and the blowgun was left on the ground. Cathode Ray, you've got a big storm coming. From day 90 to day 94, I left the Chamber of Destiny with the blowgun in hand. With this, I'd finally be able to destroy Cathode Ray once and for all. But before I could find my way to the portal, I was hit by a lightning that completely paralyzed me from the neck down. The blowgun fell out onto the floor. Oh no, who could have done this? Unsurprisingly, Cathode Ray emerged from the darkness. He had total power over me.
So, it has come to this. You know, Zozo, we could have worked well together. Imagine the heroics we would have accomplished together.
You've never done anything heroic in your life, Ray. You're just a villain who's lying to himself.
You're going to regret this, Zozo. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. I'd destroy you right now, but I want you to live long enough to see my revenge play out in full.
While I couldn't move, he built a stone cage around me, trapping me within. By the time I could move again, Cathode Ray was long gone. From day 95 to day 97, I tried different methods to bust down the walls of the prison that Cathode Ray had built around me. Out of all the power-ups, only the Destroyer worked. But there was no time to waste. I needed to get back to the Savannah Plateau immediately and warn the Redstone Cube of Wisdom. When I was back in the overworld, I ran as fast as I could until I reached the plateau. But I wasn't fast enough. The Gorilla Outpost base had been left in ruins, and all the gorillas were gone. All that was left was the heavily injured Redstone Cube of Wisdom.
Zozo, Cathode Ray went on a cathode rampage. He's cleaning house, trying to destroy everyone he can.
Oh no, this is all my fault. I gave him the blowgun. He'll be invincible.
He has one weakness, Zozo. Because he has a TV for a head, he doesn't have a mouth, so he can't actually use the blowgun. Get it back, Zozo, and use it to bring Ray's reign of terror to an end!
The Redstone Cube passed away, leaving me alone on the cold and dusty plateau. On day 98, I made a beeline back to my base. I needed to warn Mungus so he didn't end up like the gorillas or the Redstone Cube of Wisdom. When I saw the state of my base, I feared I was too late. Everything Mungus and I had worked on was destroyed. Cathode Ray had almost annihilated the base. Oh no, did he destroy Mungus just like he destroyed the Redstone Cube? To my immense relief, Mungus emerged from the rubble.
Please, I'm a lot harder to destroy than that.
Mungus, you're alive!
Cathode Ray was so focused on angrily destroying our base that he didn't even notice me.
That's one small relief, but Cathode Ray still has the blowgun. I can't defeat him without it.
Don't worry, Zozo. I have a plan. Let's go to Ray's pad together. I've got my own score to settle. You distract him, I'll steal back the blowgun. Then you can finish him off once and for all.
Sounds like a plan to me, Mungus. On day 99, Mungus and I ventured deep into the Shattered Glacier to execute our cunning plan. We arrived outside Cathode Ray's pad and shared some final encouraging words. You can do this, Mungus. I'll keep his attention on me.
See you on the other side, buddy.
Mungus snuck into the base. When he was gone, I shot my fireballs at Cathode Ray's base. He immediately stormed outside.
Revenge, then? I figured you'd come out here after you saw what I did to your base and your worthless friends. At least now I can finish you, once and for all.
Yeah, you can do that, Ray, but you'll need to catch me first. I ran as fast as I could as Cathode Ray chased me, shooting lightning after me. I ran until I'd lost him, then made a beeline back to the base. I met Mungus outside Ray's pad. He gave me the blowgun.
Finish this, Zozo.
And with that, he fled into the forest, leaving me alone at Ray's pad. On day 100, I used my fireballs and laser beams to wreak destruction on Cathode Ray's base. I blew up walls and annihilated rooms, and with the destroyer, I smashed a huge crater into the ground. And using my own smash ability, I annihilated everything I could, sending his whole kingdom crashing down around me. I'm gonna do what you did to me, and to the Redstone Cube, and all those gorillas. I'll leave you with nothing. All the noise attracted Cathode Ray himself, who stormed in, ready to fight, wielding a massive sword.
You worthless little bidet! My perfect pad! How could you ruin it like this? I am a hero!
How many times do I need to tell you? There's nothing heroic about you. You're just a big, cruel bully who wants people to like him.
And it's clear you're not gonna like me, so I may as well destroy you, you villain!
The battle began. man! Cathode ray was strong, but now I was ready to face him. I threw in javelins and blasted fireballs. I hit him with laser beams and warden shrieks, and even whacked him with the destroyer.
No, this is impossible!
For the finishing blow, I pulled out my blowgun, channeling all the power of the redstone cube. With one blast, the scourge of cathode ray was finally destroyed. The only hero here is me. On day 1, I spawned in as a zombie warden. Whoa, I guess I must be a warden who was revived into a zombie. What are the chances? I only had 6 hearts to start with, probably because I had just been brought back. I'll bet I can become a lot stronger than this. It looks like I already had the physical strength of a zombie and the senses of a warden. I could also perform a wicked sonic boom. Even after becoming a zombie, I've still got it. I realized that I was inside of some musty old tomb. There was a necromancer nearby who seemed to be jumping for joy.
Yes, I have done it! After so many tries, I have turned a warden into a zombie! Now my creation will serve me and do my bidding!
Whoa there, guy. I just got here. Don't I get to choose whether or not I do your bidding?
Free will? I guess I need to use a stronger control spell.
The necromancer started slinging magic at me. It was probably the control spell he mentioned. I didn't want to be controlled, so I started to run away. I ran off into a hallway of the tomb and found cover against the necromancer's spells. He was not happy about that.
You will serve me! Get him, Reaper!
An undead Reaper was summoned and ran towards me, chasing me. But I found a hole in the wall and squeezed through. On the other side were a bunch of coffins and gravestones. I guess I could rest here since I'm a zombie. I'll find a way out of this place tomorrow so I can stay free. On day 2, I took my first steps towards freedom and entered a forest inside of a cave. I thought that the way to the surface must have been somewhere around here. I could see perfectly in the darkness because of my warden senses, so I punched one of the trees and gathered enough wood to make a wooden axe and pickaxe. This forest was way bigger than I expected. I realized that I had no idea how to get to the surface from here, but I was determined to keep exploring this place until I did. I soon found out that I wasn't alone. There was some kind of warrior ghost floating around near a mysterious monument which was emitting a strong light.
Greetings! You must be another one of that necromancer's pawns, or at least you were.
I'm nobody's pawn. The name is Zozo, and I'm looking for a way out of this tomb so I can start a new life on the outside.
You're lucky you can move around so freely. I am ghost-bound to this monument, but my spirit is too strong to be controlled by that necromancer.
So he tried to make you his servant too?
Yes, but be warned, the necromancer was not the most evil thing in this tomb. There is a more ancient and deadly force living deep below, and it too may try to keep you here.
Good to know. Thank you for the heads up. I continued to explore the forest and ran into some cave-dwelling mooses. It was honestly a good thing because I had gotten very hungry. I'm eating mooses tonight. Or wait, is the plural moose or mooses? Or is it meese? Whatever it was, the raw moose ribs I got from the fight tasted great. It seems like most zombies, I've got an all-meat diet. On day 3, I found a wide-open cavern where I could start building an underground base. I can't be much of a warden without a place to ward. I mined some stone so that I could build a small shelter for myself. With the material situation sorted for now, I started to build myself a temporary tent-like base. I would need to get more materials before I could make a high-quality base, but this would do for now. I heard a sound behind me, and my keen warden senses told me that it was a soul eater. I fired off a sonic boom to tell it not to mess with me, but it seemed to only make it madder. The soul eater ran towards me and attacked. You're not getting my soul today! I fought back with my zombie strength. The soul eater was a tough enemy, but my sonic boom had weakened it before we got into melee range, so I was able to win the fight. I felt the souls that the soul eater had collected enter me and began to feel my power grow. My number of hearts doubled to 12, and I even became slightly larger. Later, with the rest of the wood I gathered, I built a fence around my shelter. On days 4 to 5, I searched the forest cavern for more materials to use for my base and to protect myself. I wonder if the entrance of the tomb has any materials that I might have missed. Even though it was risky, I went back in the direction of the tomb. When I arrived at the entrance, I found that the necromancer was there waiting for me. You again! I already told you that I won't be controlled. I am a free zombie.
You have no idea what is coming coming for you, Zozo. The Demon King promised me great rewards if I could build an undead legion for his army.
The Demon King? Who is that?
He has waited countless eons to make his return. This tomb was where the ancient heroes of the past sealed him away. But now that he has come back, the world will belong to him. And I will do my part to ensure that.
The Necromancer cast another confusion spell, but I countered it with a perfectly timed sonic boom that stopped it in midair. Nice try, but I won't work for you, and I won't work for the Demon King. I blocked another confusion spell with my sonic boom and drew my sword. I ran toward the Necromancer and struck him down.
You foolish zombie! You could have been on the winning side, but now you will pay the price for being a traitor!
He crumbled into dust, leaving nothing behind. On days 6 to 8, I began digging into the walls of the cavern so that I could find a way towards the outside. My brand new tunnel quickly turned into a mine, and I was able to gather a ton of stone. I built myself a full set of stone armor. While I was at it, I also upgraded my tools to stone. It was just in time because a pack of kobolds showed up right after to attack my base and try to steal my materials. I fired a sonic boom, which startled them, and then I hacked and slashed with my stone sword until I took down the entire group. I was starting to get the hang of the zombie warden fighting style, but I knew I'd be able to get even stronger. These upgrades are only the beginning. On days 9 to 10, I was in my mine when my stone pickaxe started breaking through netherrack. A few minutes later, I broke out of the wall and onto the surface. But the surface world was not how I imagined it. It was overrun with monsters. The entire landscape was filled with lava. Is this the work of the Demon King? If I was going to survive out here on my own, I was going to need some better materials. I looked around the dark landscape to see if I could find any. That's when I ran into the Demon King himself.
It is so good to be free. Or should I say bad to be free? Bad for you, that is.
You must be the Demon King. I'm the zombie warden of the tomb. Call me Zozo.
So, you're the one who defeated that necromancer and made me lose my undead army. No matter, I never needed them anyway. I will conquer the world without the undead.
He swiped his sword at me faster than I could let out a sonic boom. That one blow took out a lot of my health, and I could tell right then and there that the Demon King was too strong for me to defeat.
What's the matter, Zozo? Are you scared?
Yeah, a little. That's why I'm getting out of here. I turned and ran back towards my underground base. For some reason, the Demon King didn't choose to follow me.
Why would I return to the tomb I was sealed in? I have the whole world to destroy now.
When I arrived back at the hillside, I was surprised to see a familiar enemy. It was the Reaper that the Necromancer had summoned to fight me. Back for more, Reaper?
Not at all. I came to thank you for setting me free from that spellcaster's control.
Oh, I guess we're cool then.
We're more than cool. I saw the way you stood up to the Demon King. Perhaps we can work together and take him down.
But I ran away.
You ran away a second more than anyone else, which means you're braver than you know. Besides, if we want to keep our freedom, we'll have to face him eventually. He'll send another necromancer to control us before long.
Point taken. I guess it's you and me, Reaper.
Please, call me Grimsley.
On days 11 to 12, I invited Grimsley back to my base and began to build another structure to house him. While I was at it, I popped my tent back up, then decided that wasn't enough. So I turned my tent into a watchtower. That way, I could observe what was happening on the surface while I was in my base. I spent some time out in the surface world gathering materials to craft new items. The surface world had a lot of warped stems, and I made sure to get as much as I could. I then proceeded to explore the area some more. I mean, who knows what I might find here? While I was exploring, I spotted a mob. It was headed my way, so I got ready for a fight. I blasted the approaching lava monster with my sonic boom, but it didn't do much damage. My stone weapons also had no effect on the creature at all. Oh no, I'm too weak. I need to get a better weapon and come back. I disappeared into the forest and retreated away from the battlefield. Using some of my leftover stone, I crafted myself a brand new mace for combat. It was a slow weapon, but it had a lot of power, and that suited me just fine. The next time I saw that lava monster, I took him down in one hit. Hooray! Now this is a weapon I can use! I decided not to stop there. The mace was great, but I could use a durable set of armor to match. Some iron tools wouldn't hurt either. I went back to my personal mineshaft and began to dig for iron. It didn't take me too long to find enough to improve my tools and armor level. I smelted the iron down and crafted myself a full set of iron armor and tools. On days 13 to 15, the ghost of the ancient warrior called me to his side and told me the tale of the Demon King.
100 years ago, the world was under attack by a Demon King and his army of demons and monsters. The big evil guy had succeeded in uniting the demons, the undead mobs, and the two-headed ogre tribe into an unstoppable fighting force. The villagers and animals tried to stand against the Demon King, but they were no match. It seemed that all hope was lost, until one day, the legendary heroes appeared. I was one of them. Together, myself and my companions used our legendary weapons to strike deadly blows on the Demon King, weakening him enough for our cleric to trap him inside of the tomb we now stand inside. It seems as though the seal held for exactly 100 years before being broken. I can only imagine that this is because there were no heroes powerful enough to use that spell in the modern day.
So you're saying that even you and the other legendary heroes couldn't defeat the Demon King back then, and then the only way was to seal him, even though it didn't last?
It's better than letting him rampage around and do whatever he wants.
I don't know. Even if there was somebody who could cast the sealing spell these days, would it even matter? It's like putting a band-aid on a broken sword. I'm sorry, but it doesn't sound like there's anything that can be done. On days 16 to 19, I couldn't find Grimsley anywhere in the base, even in the house I built for him. Grimsley wouldn't just leave without telling me. I better look for him. It was a good thing I was part warden, because wardens are really good at finding things. I wandered out farther than I ever had before, to a hill with dark grass and strange ruins on top of it. I spotted Grimsley, but he wasn't alone. There was another mob there, and it looked like it was wearing a magic robe. Oh no! Another necromancer has tried to capture Grimsley! I got closer, and I saw that I was correct. The cloaked figure had him enclosed in a ritual circle, and Grimsley was trapped.
Zozo, is that you? Help me!
Don't worry, Grimsley, I'll save you! I fired a sonic boom, which disrupted the necromancer's chanting. He got angry and fired some evil bolts at me. I circled around the hill, using the ruins as cover. I managed to catch him by surprise and wind up an overhead smash with my mace. See you later! The magic circle collapsed when the caster was defeated, and Grimsley was set free.
Well done, Zozo! I thought I was gonna be controlled again for sure!
Don't worry, buddy, I gotcha. Neither of us will ever be controlled again. This time, the Demon King won't have the help of the undead. We'll be fighting against him.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, we're the spirits.
Inspired by Grimsley's words, I felt myself begin to grow and change. My number of hearts increased to 20, and I also gained increased melee damage. Zombie-rific! It was just in time, too, because we were joined by a troop of knights. Their leader wore ice armor.
Freeze, undead servants of the Demon King! I, Sir Frost, will put you on ice.
It's cool. We don't actually work for the Demon King, and we're gonna make sure no other undead has to either.
Oh, pardon the misunderstanding then. I'll be off to continue facing his forces and searching for the legendary blade of demon sealing.
Wait, a blade like that exists?
We certainly hope so. It is said to contain the magic of the cleric who sealed him the first time.
Well, if you need any help, you know who to call. Me, Zozo. On days 20 to 22, I went back to the base, only to find it overrun with giant centipedes. All right, you bugs, prepare to get squashed. They were quick, but not very tough, so I used my sword instead of my mace. I figured this place needed a statue, one that would show those knights that allies could be found here, in the remnants of the Demon King's tomb. It would have to be brave and mighty, not to mention cool. Sir Frost will be so impressed that he'll make me his second in command. Plus, he's probably the modern-day descendant of one of those legendary heroes who beat the Demon King. That's how it usually works. I needed white and blue for the statue to really look like him, so I went to gather some dolomite and lapis. I managed to mine quite a bit of the materials I needed and went back to the base. With access to those materials, I could start working on the statue. It was really starting to come together and look like a base of something great. What do you think it'll be? While you're leaving a comment on what you think it'll be, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you can see more of my amazing adventures. On days 23 to 26, the kobolds returned in even greater numbers. This time, they had some ranged weapons on them too. I guess kobolds were craftier than I thought. Fortunately, my melee damage had gotten stronger and I could easily deal with them. One of the kobolds I defeated dropped a bow and a quiver full of poison-tipped arrows. This would make a good backup ranged weapon for my sonic boom. Since there were no necromancers to cast spells on me, I took a trip down into the depths of the tomb. It looked like they had been taken over by a den of slimes and spiders, and they were in the middle of a territory struggle. Am I interrupting something? I cleared out the vermin and gathered up their webs and slime balls. Once I returned to the base, I was able to craft those materials into some leads. After I was done with that, I spotted another kobold jumping in front of my base and ran down to face it. Oh, hey, there's still another kobold back here. Back for another fight.
No way! I want to join you guys. The other kobolds were always mean to me.
Oh, I didn't know. Don't worry, buddy. I gotcha. I built a new house for the kobold and set him up with a workshop to make new weapons and gizmos.
Let me make it up to you by building some traps around the base for you.
On days 27 to 31, I returned to the forest and talked to the ancient warrior about the legendary blade that Sir Frost mentioned. Apparently, this blade can seal the Demon King away again. Does that sound like something that the other legendary warriors might have done?
It is possible that the cleric planned ahead and sealed one more spell into the legendary weapon, but I've been trapped here the whole time as a guardian ghost, so I have no idea what happened in those 100 years.
I suppose I'll have to go looking and see what the world is like out there.
The Demon King is most likely sending his minions to destroy whatever is left of the legendary hero's descendants. If you can find them first, one of them probably knows how to find the legendary blade.
Well then, there's no time to waste. Thanks, ancient warrior. I'm out of here. I journeyed out into the wilderness in search of the legacy that the legendary heroes left behind. I came upon a bridge over a deep ravine, which was guarded by a two-headed giant.
Just try to get past us. You won't.
Watch me. I shot a poison-tipped arrow into the giant and watched as their health started to get chipped away.
Why, you...
The giant charged right into the path of my swinging mace. Kapow! The hit knocked them back, causing them to stumble over the side of the ravine. The two-headed giant fell all the way to the bottom, but didn't disappear. I quickly ran across the bridge before they found a way back up. On days 32 to 35, I found a grove full of trees, and in it were a bunch of songbirds.
Hello, traveler. What brings you to this peaceful place?
My name is Zozo, and I'm here in search of a legendary blade that can seal the Demon King.
Oh, the Blade of the Cleric. This place was created by one of the other legendary heroes, so we've heard of it, but we're not sure where it is.
Darn it, this is still a very nice clearing. But wait, if it was made by the heroes, then... Just as I realized, the Demon King came rushing into the grove. He used his magic staff and destroyed half of the grove in one hit. Luckily, I'm here. Run away, birds. I'll distract him. The songbirds ran away just in time, as the Demon King was right next to me.
We meet again, Zozo. This time I'll destroy you.
It seemed like he meant it. He was immune to the poison of my arrows, and he closed in on me before I could use my sonic boom. Thinking quickly, I surprised him with my increased melee damage.
Impressive, but it will take more than that to defeat me.
I guess we'll find out next time. I ran off while the Demon King just stood there, laughing. But at least I lived to fight another day. Just as I got far enough away, I spotted one of the songbirds. I'm sorry about your home.
We'll be able to find a new home. You saved us, and that's what matters.
My base can be your new home.
Oh, sweet.
On days 36 to 39, I constructed an aviary where the birds could live as peacefully as they did back at the grove. Can you tell me anything else you know about the legendary heroes?
There were 4 of them in total. The warrior, the cleric, the singer, and the ice knight. The singer was the one who made our grove, and I hear that the ice knight founded an order of brave warriors who dwell in the snowy north.
That sounds like Sir Frost and his companions. I should go visit them.
The good thing about the north is that it's very well protected. The Demon King will have to spend a lot of resources to claim it. If there's another place where his forces can be resisted, it would be there.
Awesome! I should get prepared and make this alliance official. The undead can team up with the knights, and together we'll find the legendary blade. Then we'll show the Demon King who's really boss. But before I left to go explore the snowy north, I did a bit more on my statue. I felt inspired because I was reminded of Sir Frost. On days 40 to 43, another undead showed up at the base, and I welcomed them into the ranks of the Resistance.
Hi, my name is Gabby Ghoul.
Welcome to the team, Gabby.
Thanks. I'm from the lower east side of the tomb, and I know there are some really good materials behind a secret door.
That sounds cool. Will you show us where the secret door is?
Sure, since you asked so nicely.
Gabby showed us the secret door in the lower east tomb, and sure enough, there was gold ore which could be used to craft some very valuable gold items. It was almost too good to be true, but it was true, and there was a warder there to make it a little less good. I did a sonic boom on the dangerous mob and performed a combo with my mace. It took a few more hits than most of the enemies I'd faced, but it went down just like the rest of them. Wow, there's a lot of useful stuff back here. I have some materials to give to the kobold trapsmith. I returned to the kobold and gave him all of the materials I collected. I'm sure he will make great use of them. On days 44 to 49, I traveled across the land until I reached the snowy north. If I were human, I'd probably have to wear a coat. Thank goodness I'm undead. The local mobs were completely different from the ones that I had encountered in the lands that the Demon King had ransacked. But just because they weren't working for the Demon King didn't mean they were friendly. A winged imp monster known as a Vex swooped from out of the sky and tried to take me down. That hurt. I guess it's time to get serious. I swung my mace at the creature, but it was too slow. It flew back up into the sky out of melee range, but that was a mistake on the mob's part because I used my sonic boom to drop it. I decided to travel deeper in and noticed more of these things, and also that they were attacking a poor Arctic fox. I drew my bow and arrow. I had the element of surprise, so I launched arrows into all of them. The Vexes were poisoned and defeated. That's when a fox approached me, looking very relieved.
Whew, that was helpful. Thank you.
That's what I do. I help people.
Are you part of the Ice Knight Order? I've been looking for them.
So have I. I need their help with finding a legendary blade.
The one that can seal the Demon King back? So it does exist. At least my village wasn't attacked for nothing. The Demon King's forces are there right now, looking for it. I need the knights to come and save us.
I guess we've got the same goal. Let's see what we can do together. On days 50 to 53, the fox and I traveled further into the snowing north, trying to avoid the prying eyes of the Vexes.
Maybe if we look around, we'll find someone who can give you a bit more information about the Blade of the Cleric. There are a lot of people who hate the Demon King, so they'll probably be willing to help out.
But the one person I didn't want to see was the multi-headed giant. He'd finally tracked me down, and he wanted some payback.
Is this a friend of yours, Zozo?
Yeah, something like that. I rushed in and unleashed my sonic boom, but he dodged the sonic boom and charged at me. I guess two heads are finally looking better than one. But I was stronger than I was all those days ago, and I didn't need only my sonic boom to fight my enemies. As the giant got closer, I pulled out my mace and jumped into the air. One strike of my mace to the giant's multiple heads, and he was defeated.
That was amazing. You're a real hero, Zozo.
I'm just a zombie warden doing his best. As Fox and I continued to explore, we found a mutant snow golem camping. Hey, Mr. Snow Golem, I'm Zozo, and I'm looking for the Sword of the Cleric. Do you know where I can find it?
Sorry to burst your bubble, kid, but it doesn't work that way. You don't just find the Sword of the Cleric. Legends say that when you reveal yourself to be worthy, only then will the sword find its way to you.
Oh, so I'm not a real hero yet?
You don't have the sword, so probably not. But you seem like a good kid. Take this protection enchantment. It'll help you on your quest.
Thanks, Mr. Snow Golem. I appreciate it. On days 54 to 57, I made the long and hard journey back across the map, then went underground to my base. I decided to apply the protection enchantment to my chestplate so I'd be able to withstand more powerful attacks easier. Afterwards, I noticed that the kobold installed some traps, a lava chest trap, a diamond door trap, and a pit trap. Hopefully these will never have to come in handy, but good to have them, just in case. Just then, Grimsley approached me with an important task.
Zozo, thank goodness you're here. Gabby Ghoul has gotten sick. I fear that it's some kind of hex caused by the Demon King. I can make a healing potion to help her, but I need you to collect some apples from the warped forest. It's a vital ingredient.
Don't worry, Grimsley. I'll be right on it. You stay here and tend to Gabby. I quickly went to the overworld and began exploring the warped forest until I happened upon some apples. I collected as many as I could, wanting to make sure there was enough for Gabby's healing potions. I went back to the underground base and gave Grimsley the apples.
This is perfect, Zozo. I have even more than I need. Here, take a few of these spare health potions. You never know when they might come in handy.
On days 58 to 62, I decided to take a load off and work on the statue after a pretty stressful week. Everyone needs a little relaxation time. Can you guess what it is yet? But just as I was about to continue my statue build, I noticed that a gang of demonic reavers working for the Demon King suddenly started attacking my base. Leave it to a guy called the Demon King to never fight fair. But I had an ace in the hole. As the reavers tried to ransack my base, they activated the different traps. A few fell into the lava pit, some more fell for my pit trap, and one of them even fell for my diamond ore trap. And even more were taken out by my sonic booms. I'll take on as many reavers as the Demon King can send at me. But I wasn't prepared for a sneak attack from behind from Grimsley, the Reaper, which knocked me down. Grimsley, how could you? I thought we were friends.
I'm so sorry, Zozo. We are friends, but the Demon King somehow reactivated the Necromancer's control spell. I'm not in control of my own body. He is.
Grimsley, you have to fight it. I promise I'll help free you.
I'm worried you're already too late, Zozo. Just promise me you'll stay safe and don't follow me.
And with that, the mind-controlled Grimsley ran off. On day 63 to day 66, I took one of the healing potions that Grimsley made for me and chased him out of the base. Looks like he's headed for the warped forest. I need to chase him and snap him out of this funk. I followed him until I caught up with him in the darkness of the forest. It was just me and Grimsley facing off.
Zozo, I told you not to follow me. It was a trap from the Demon King all along.
That's when even more reavers came out of the forest to battle me. It looked like more than I could even take on. Grimsley, I need you to help me.
I can't help you, Zozo. I'm not in control.
You have to fight, Grimsley. You're not just a servant of the Necromancer or the Demon King. You're your own person. I could see that Grimsley was struggling to regain control, and eventually, Grimsley snapped out of it.
You're right, Zozo. I am my own person. Now let's show these reavers that we mean business.
Grimsley and I fought off the reavers together. Between the two of us, those servants of evil stood no chance.
Thank you for never giving up on me, Zozo.
I'll never give up on a friend.
And as it turns out, when the Demon King invaded my mind, I also invaded his. I got a vision of a cave deep in the basalt deltas. We might be able to find something useful there.
On days 67 to 70, Grimsley and I decided we'd make our way to the Basalt Deltas cave together and take the fight to the Demon King. Do you think the blade of the cleric is in there, Grimsley?
Only if you're worthy. And look, that might be a good way to prove yourself.
Grimsley was gesturing to a huge, scary Wendigo that was patrolling the outside of the cave. He must have been another demonic servant of the Demon King. I'll go in first. Follow my lead. I ran towards the Wendigo and unleashed a sonic boom. It was more formidable than anything I'd ever faced before. Thankfully, I still had my mace. I pulled it out and hit the Wendigo several times as it roared and shrieked, but the attacks only made it angrier. Then, the Wendigo started fighting back. Every time it hit or bit me, it was knocking off heart after heart. It was terrifying. There was nothing I could do to stop it. I saw my life flashing before my eyes when suddenly Grimsley stormed in to save me.
Leave my friend alone, Wendigo, or you're gonna learn exactly why you should fear the Reaper.
Grimsley attacked. I don't know if he hurt the Wendigo, but he spooked it enough to finally run it off. You really saved me there, Grimsley. Thank you.
Just repaying my debt, Zozo. Now let's take a look inside the cave.
On day 71 to day 74, we entered the cave, hoping to find the blade of the cleric waiting for me. But no, the cave was empty, and I was devastated. I guess I'm still not worthy.
It's okay, Zozo. I'm sure we'll be able to find it. We just need to believe in ourselves.
We better start believing harder, because if we don't, then the Demon King is gonna rise to full power, and without the blade of the cleric, there will be nothing we can do to stop him. On day 75 to day 78, I returned to my base and decided it was time to upgrade my mace since it was about to break. So I did just that and crafted a new mace. Then I decided to supercharge it and applied the sharpness enchantment on it to improve its hitting power. Nobody will want to mess with me now. But that was wrong, because the Wendigo who'd gotten away in the Badlands suddenly appeared, and he was here for me. Unlike the Reavers, he wasn't tricked by any of the traps. He had my scent, and he was coming straight for me, with his teeth and claws ready. But this time though, I had my upgraded mace, and I was ready to fight back. The Wendigo squared up, and I hit him back. And after that hit, he didn't get back up. Because the Wendigo was so powerful, defeating him gave me a lot of XP, causing me to get bigger, stronger, and finally reach 30 hearts. I was one of the most powerful zombie wardens in the world. I was even starting to look more like an actual warden and became pretty buff. This is my coolest upgrade yet. That's when I had a vision. I needed to return to the snowy north. Something would be waiting for me there. Something I needed if I wanted to defeat the Demon King. So of course, there was no time to waste. On day 79 to day 84, I traveled into the snowy north until I found a fortress that looked like something out of my vision. And as it turned out, it was this fortress that was manned by Sir Frost and his knights, just who I wanted to see. I went to Sir Frost's planning room, where we began to discuss the thing on both of our minds, the Demon King.
I've spent my entire life preparing to confront the Demon King if he ever rose again. And in all that time, all that responsibility, I feel I've learned so little. All I know is that he'll likely reach his greatest power soon.
Then we should probably stick together. He'll want to get rid of all of us as part of his rise to power, but that'll be harder if we're working with each other. Come back to my base. We'll be safe there, Sir Frost.
You make a good point, Zozo. I'll prepare my things. We'll head off shortly.
On day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base to check on Gabigool, who had started living inside of my statue, and ask her how she was recovering from the hex that the Demon King had put on her.
I'm feeling a lot better now, Zozo. Thank you. And there's something I should tell you. I've been having visions lately. The Demon King, I know he's hiding somewhere with blue trees. Does that mean anything to you?
Blue trees? That has to be the Warped Forest. That's the only place that looks like that. Thank you, Gabby. I know where to find him now. On day 90 to day 94, I went into the mines and managed to get extremely lucky and mine my first set of diamonds. If I'm gonna face the Demon King, I need some extremely tough armor. I forged myself a full set of diamond armor, which would defend me against almost anything. And then I went about enchanting every piece of my armor just so that I would be as prepared as possible. Diamonds are a zombie warden's best friend. On day 95 to day 97, I finished the statue. It was the statue made in tribute to one of the coolest warriors I know, Sir Frost. He'd spent his whole life searching for ways to stop the Demon King, and looking at his statue, I knew I'd be honored to spend my unlife doing the same. The Demon King would fall, and it would be because of me. On day 98, all the preparations had been made. The last thing I was able to do was talk to my friends I'd made who were staying at my base. First, I spoke to Grimsley.
I believe you can do this, Zozo. With or without the blade of the cleric, you're a true hero, and you will defeat this monstrous villain.
Next, I spoke to Gabigool.
You're brave and kind, Zozo, and that will serve you well against the Demon King. Never forget that.
And of course, Sir Frost, the Ice Knight.
Are you sure you want to do this alone, Zozo? I would happily fight by your side, if you so will it.
Thank you, Sir Frost, but you've been fighting this fight a long time. Let me finish it for you. And if you want to help me, the best thing you can do is subscribe to Zozo and ring the bell to always be notified of the next adventure. On day 99, with everything said, I left the underground base and made my way deep into the horrors of the Nether. The first stop was the Crimson Forest, the only way to the Warped Forest Gabby had mentioned, where the Demon King would be waiting. That's when I saw something crawling out of the ground. It was another warden, just like me, except he wasn't zombified.
You worthless traitor! The Necromancer and the Demon King gave you everything, and yet you rebel. You make me sick, you undead freak!
I'd rather be undead and free than alive and taking orders from the Demon King. The enemy warden tried to unleash a sonic boom on me, but I wasn't about to waste time on him when I had the biggest fish to fry. I unleashed my sonic boom, and the enemy warden was completely destroyed.
Traitor!
And with him out of the way, it was time to enter the Warped Forest and finally finish this thing. On day 100, I entered the warped forest and prepared myself for the fight of my own life. It wouldn't be easy. First, I had to deal with the Endermen. They kept teleporting around me, and it took both my mace and my Mega Sonic Boom to take care of them. It doesn't matter how much you delay, I'm gonna take on your boss soon enough. I thought I'd need to keep searching for the Demon King, but instead, the Demon King came for me. He floated down towards me, ready to fight.
You again? That little failed experiment that killed the Necromancer. Are you truly foolish enough to think you can best me, the Demon King?
And with that, he began to grow, becoming a far bigger and more powerful version of himself than I'd ever seen. He had finally reached his full power. Even if I can't beat you, I'm still going to fight you, because what kind of person would I be if I didn't?
A living one.
The Demon King pulled out a powerful bow and started shooting me with it. I tried to dodge, but was quickly overwhelmed due to the sheer power of it.
Weak. How disappointing. Destroying you will be an act of mercy.
Just as I thought I'd be doomed, I noticed something had been added to my inventory. It was the blade of the cleric. My act of bravery had finally earned it. As soon as I equipped the blade, I saw myself growing, getting more powerful. I was bigger, stronger, and even had a mighty 50 hearts. There would be no stopping me now. Okay, Demon King, are you ready for a real fight? With the blade of the cleric, I attacked the Demon King, striking him again and again, forcing him further back into the warped forest, weakening him, breaking him down. I could tell he was afraid.
Zozo, wait! Clearly you're strong. How about we join forces? Imagine the power we could have together.
Nice offer, but I think I'll stick with my friends, Demon King. With one last blast of my sonic boom, the Demon King was destroyed and the world was saved. After that, I went back to the base happy to finally relax.